goal is going to be, if we can mute whatever's coming back at me there, what his goal is long term. I mean, if this is just Cuban kind of spreading the wealth with a big investment company and trying to get involved, as much as possible. The thing I find intriguing, because I don't know if you remember, but one of the great stories, and we're gonna have Sam Panayotovich on later on, and Sam's a little bit young, so I don't, he's not 15 years old, but I don't know if he remembers going back years and years and years. But Mark Cuban, it was a pretty highly publicized story that back in the day when the Cubs were available, that Mark Cuban expressed some interest, and basically baseball was like, nah, we're not interested, without saying it this way, in a guy like you. And I remember ripping the hell out of baseball, and I'm like, you know what? That figures. And now look at baseball. You have a league that has not transitioned completely with new age owners who have enough money. You've still got some old school owners who, in spite of the fact that, they bought the team for probably low millions at the time, of owned teams for 30 and 40 years, and are going to make billions. And they're the ones driving this whole labor thing. Had Mark Cuban, can you imagine what the Cubs would be year in and year out if Mark Cuban was allowed to buy them way back when?
You're talking about someone who doesn't just invest they all invest in sports to make money, right? They see something viable, but this is a dude who his competitive drive is as strong as anybody else's. And so his idea is not just to buy to make money, to see, hey, there's an investment. Everybody's investing in Vegas. He sees championship. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous to say right now when you're talking about the Athletics, but let me tell you something. When you have somebody, it's like with Tom Brady, the excitement around Tom Brady joining. Now, granted, the Aces were already a championship team when he bought in, but he's now a championship minority owner. But the Raiders, think about what we're talking about here. Fernando Mendoza, you're having Tom Brady around. I mean, the talk is about having a winner.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of vibe with Mark Cuban. This dude doesn't come in to any partnership when it comes to professional sports with the idea of just making money. He wants to win. He's not going to be satisfied with, if the Athletics come to Vegas and it becomes profitable off merchandising and tickets and being in Las Vegas, that's fine. He'll be, yeah, great, we made money. This dude wants to win. He will not be satisfied unless this becomes a contender.
Las Vegas owners 5 or 10 years from now could include, Major League sports owners could include Mark Cuban, Tom Brady, maybe Magic Johnson or some other famous basketball player from the past. Obviously, Bill Foley, if he's still around at that point.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq is a possibility. LeBron's a possibility. I mean, not to a much lesser degree. Jay Williams or Vinny Del Negro, the Colangelo family. So these are crazy times right now in Vegas sports. So, yeah, if you didn't see it, Mark Cuban has bought into, we'll get details on how big a percentage that this Harbinger group actually bought, what Cuban is actually invested in terms of his percentage. But today, to me, is one of the great days in recent NBA history. And for sports talkers and talking head shows on TV, this is unbelievable. And I'm telling you, a lot of people out there were like, 1, no one wanted LeBron. 2, no one cares where LeBron goes. You're wrong. And if you don't, that's fine. But him landing with a high-level team in the East, in a major market, with other stars on the team, having just gotten Jaylen Brown, going to Philly, which I did not think would happen, is incredible for us, for NBA fans, for LeBron, for Philly fans, whether they like it or not, and again, for the league. Adam Silver, because there was a report today that LeBron may have been slow playing it a couple of days because Silver had pushed him a little bit last week. Believe me, Adam Silver and the TV partners, I'm sure were like, what? Philly? Yeah!
We said, was it yesterday we said the East Coast, and I think we mentioned when I was talking about how you're going to set up the doubleheader for the opener and then Christmas Day, and I think we both agreed. We were like, look, we have put Miami, put New York, put Miami, put Cleveland, and put Philadelphia on the Christmas schedule. It's going to be one of those 3 places, but I really never really thought it would have been Philadelphia. I just don't. I thought it was going to be Cleveland, and then if it wasn't, it would have been Miami. I would have stopped there, even though we said those 3 places. It's somewhat, you know what, Steve? When I heard it, there was a part of me that went, Okay. I'm kind of excited about this. Like if he would have said Miami, I would have been, oh man, come on. If he would have said Golden State, I would have, which I think we all ruled out a week or so ago, being like, come on, are you kidding? There's something about the move to Philly that's intriguing and exciting. I kind of want to see him in a Sixers uniform.
Dude, it's amazing on so many levels because that city, their fandom, the media there, the challenge of now being one of the favorites in the East, the collection of talent on the team, the Northeast corridor where the Celtics freaking handed Jaylen Brown to the Sixers, probably never thinking they would turn into a super team, adding LeBron James as a fourth or fifth option. The East is now a friggin' bloodbath because there's so many good teams. And as I said earlier, for guys like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless who make their living off LeBron, like I'm sure they had a freaking spank one out. I mean, it's like they had to be so fired up today, right? Like this is unbelievable. All right, on the way back, we're going to talk to a Philly guy. Mark McMillan played his football with the Eagles. I know he has strong thoughts because there's a lot of negatives around LeBron. There's a lot of people who are not going to be happy that LeBron James has landed in Philly. We're not part of that group. At least I'm not. I am over the moon.
Got something to say? Hit us up on the Bay Law text line. 702-364-1100. Brought to you by Bay Law Injury Attorneys. Winning is no accident.
High internet costs? Cell phone bill going up? Streaming services you forgot you had? What if someone fixed that for you? Radiant Start Checking app.
Rewards.com.
Hey, Cindy, where are you going?
The pawn shop to get rid of these bracelets.
No, don't do that.
Well, why not? The kids don't want them, and I could use the cash.
I mean, don't go to the pawn shop. Michael E. Minden in the Fashion Show Mall is buying all your unwanted jewelry right now, gold and silver.
So is it worth the trip?
Totally. Gold is worth 5 times more than normal right now, and Michael E. Minden will give you the highest price for it. Plus, it's in the mall, and you can buy me lunch.
Okay, deal.
The best deals on the jewelry you're looking for. Michael E. Minden, Diamond Jewelers.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000. Use code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-810-8599. That's 800-810-8599. 800-810-8599.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up?
/game. That's ethos.com/
We have Mr. Mark.
Online health questions required.
One moment can turn life upside down. Your comeback starts with the right team by your side. At DeCastro Verde Law, we've spent decades helping injured Nevadans take back their lives. We never back down. We never give up. We're the DeCastro Verde Brothers, and we have your back. Together, we win.
BrothersWin.com.
At DeCastro Verde Law, the brothers have your back. BrothersWin.com.
Gambler's Bonus hits again. On June 14th, Betty hit 4 4s, clearing her Gambler's Bonus 4-of-a-kind bingo card for over $11,000. Betty hit big, and so can you with Gambler's Bonus. It's why you play the game.
All right, we're back on.
Former NFL cornerback and next-level chef contestant Mark McMillan joins Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas.
Just getting started here on a massive day in sports as LeBron James finally decides, and all I heard from a lot of people was no one's going to care. It's not a big deal. No one wants him. Okay, let's see how today goes in the weekend and then next week in the lead up to the NBA season. I know in Philly, they're going to have an opinion one way or the other. Mark McMillan played his football, much of it in Eagles land. Mark, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, man? I know it is hot. My boys are excited in Philly. They work on WIP. Obviously, training camp is starting. But, man, they are so pumped up with LeBron coming to Philly, man. They just forgot about the Eagles today.
So give me your reaction.
You know what? I grew up a Sixers fan, and my brother and everybody else was Laker fans. We grew up in L.A., so I wanted to be different. So I'm with the Bobby Jones, the Dr. J, the Mo Cheeks, the Moses Malone guys. I'm with that era. And then to see this, obviously, playing in Philly and being a Sixer fan now and the Laker fan as well, I don't know if it's good for the NBA because it's like he said he wasn't ring chasing, but they just put together one of the most dynamic young teams as far as their backcourt in the NBA right now. And people don't even talk about Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Like this is the guy that everybody was excited, like, oh, they're going to put Philly over the top. And then you go out and get LeBron James, who's a veteran, who knows how to win, who knows how to play. And you got Tyrese Maxey, the young guy. And you got LeBron to be able to tutelage these guys. And what better city than Philly? And it couldn't be New York, but Philly, man, it is going to be a great experience. I know people are renewing their tickets now, which is crazy because the prices just went up. But, man, I got to roll with it, man. Like I said, I got to stay loyal to the Sixers, man. If they go out and win a championship, I know people are going to be pissed off, but I know some outlets are like, he's not ring chasing. He's ring chasing, and I can't wait to hear Charles Barkley's take on this because, Charles don't like all that.
Well, but Charles is a hypocrite, and when Dr. J talks about this, Dr. J's a hypocrite. Yeah, I said it. I know you were a Sixers fan back in the day. Well, I followed basketball back then, too. We're both old, so, you can't revise history. By the way, Dr. J didn't leave the Sixers, but he was a ring chaser because Dr. J helped form a super team with Moses Malone. The Sixers gave nothing to the Rockets for a prime 7-footer who's one of the best rebounders in the history of the league to form that team and eventually win a championship. So all players throughout history wanted to be on great teams. The only guy who didn't was Michael Jordan because he was too selfish at the end with the Wizards, so he went to a crappy team so he could score a bunch of points. But obviously, I got a lot of thoughts on this. I'm thrilled that LeBron is there, and I think he's actually put himself in a pressure cooker. It's not going to hurt his legacy if they don't win, but he's got some pressure. That team now has some pressure to win titles the next couple of years. The process is done. This is the end of the process. Now it's time to get rings.
And I think he likes that pressure, though, Steve. You know, obviously he's done everything he could do for the Lakers. You know, he won the title inside the bubble. You know, he's made enough money. He's a billionaire. He did a lot of things in California. And for him to take this challenge, I know a lot of people are like, oh, my gosh, he's going to the Sixers. He's going to make him that much better. But all eyes is going to be on him. And, you know, you look at title. But it's going to be exciting. I tell you that. I know I'm definitely going to Philly and go to the game.
Do you feel that I'm of this belief, Mark, that if he can enhance his legacy and better it with titles, that means that he also could damage it? I personally don't think that anything changes with his standing in greatness. Win or lose at this point, it doesn't get better or worse. But if someone believes it can get better, then that means it also can get worse.
Yeah, I don't think it could get better. He's accomplished pretty much everything you can accomplish in the NBA. If he wins a title, it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, he won another title. He's the greatest. They're already saying he's one of the greatest of all time. That's debatable, and that's going to be debatable for the end of time. But if he loses the title, I know the city of Philadelphia is going to be pissed off. Yeah. I know he's going to have to get out of town. I know that. And LA media is different from, you know, Miami media or Cleveland media. Philadelphia media, they're going to be eating him alive, and he's going to have to answer some tough questions. And that's the good thing about playing in Philly, man. If you don't show up, the fans are going to let you have it.
Yeah, Philly media, New York media, they do not play. The one thing that he could accomplish that nobody else has ever accomplished, nobody has won an NBA title with 4 different teams. All right, Mark, who is now the biggest star in Philly? Bryce Harper, Jalen Hurts, or LeBron James?
Man, that's a good one. Harper's kind of like taking a back seat to Schwarber. Kyle's kind of like the guy right now in Philly, as he should be. You know, he's on another record pace for the Phillies. Hurts today, nobody's even thinking about Hurts today. Everybody's talking about LeBron, but you know, right now LeBron is dominating every headline. I'm sure this is news across the pond, across the world. But as far as the biggest star, Jalen Hurts never gets the star treatment as far as in the media. Even in Philly, people question Jalen Hurts as being a good quarterback or average quarterback. But I'm still going to ride with Jalen Hurts, man, and what he's been able to do the last couple of years. So, LeBron, you still got to take a back seat. It's all about them Eagles, baby.
Who has the most pressure of those 3?
Well, Jalen Hurts already won a title in Philly. He's already been to the Super Bowl. He's been through the gauntlet already. He's been through 4 or 5 offensive coordinators. Seems like every year he has a different coordinator. But LeBron, like Steve said, he has some pressure on him. You know, they made this move to win a title. And if you don't win a title with the guy they consider to be the king, like I said, Philly is different. If he doesn't win a title in Philly, they are going to let him have it. He didn't win in L.A. You know, you get a little squirmish in L.A., but Philadelphia, man, he'll walk down the street and people will let him have it. But you know, when you're a billionaire, you're not going to be walking down the streets of Philly. I know that. Mark
McMillan is with us here on Cofield and Company. LeBron James to Philadelphia. If you missed it, he's joining the Sixers. Mark played his NFL football for a long time with the Eagles. I completely disagree with your answer on who has the most pressure, Bryce Harper, Jalen Hurts, or LeBron. It's Jalen Hurts. I don't care, and I don't think Philly Eagle fans care that he's won. His job is on the line. If he has an El Flapo year with a new offensive coordinator, without A.J. Brown, the fans are going to want, some of them are going to want to run Jalen Hurts out of town, Mark. He's got the pressure.
Steve, they've been trying to run Jalen Hurts out of town since they drafted him.
I know, but this year's the make or break. They're looking at the contract and they're like, he's got to win.
Yeah, but like I said, how does he get treated so differently from, obviously, it's Philadelphia. You look at Lamar Jackson, you look at the guy in Buffalo. I don't even like him. That's why I don't even say his name. I don't even like him. I won't worry about it. Yeah. You mentioned his name. These are the guys that's rated above him. But since the media put so much pressure on Hurts, those guys seem like they get a free pass. But all Jalen Hurts has done is won a Super Bowl. Should have won another Super Bowl in Arizona. That didn't happen to Kansas City Chiefs. You battled out with Patrick Mahomes, but it's just a different mindset. It's just a different fan base, Steve, in Philly. If you don't win, the fans will definitely let you have it. And he's been under the pressure for, since he's got to Philly. And everybody's felt that pressure, from Randall Cunningham getting booed to Eric Allen getting booed, to me hearing that they wasted a draft pick on a small guy from Alabama. So you just deal with it. And, like I said, that's the one thing I love about Philadelphia fans. It makes you, as a player, you love that fan base. I know a lot of people, if you're not an Eagle fan or a Philly fan, you don't like the fans, but man, they make you step up your game, and we hear what the fans say. Trust me.
Can we address one more thing that's starting to go around in the circles now that LeBron is going to Philly? And Mark knows this well, and I know it. I also know it. And by the way, I'm doing the show right now from South Jersey. I'm on a quick vacation in South Jersey. It's very much Philly territory, Sixers territory. I've seen different reports from different media people like, oh, where's LeBron going to live? If he wants to live in New York, you could just take a helicopter down to Philly. Do people understand what Philly has in the burbs and like down the main line? If LeBron wants to buy or rent a fortress or a castle, like within a half an hour of the arenas, Mark, you know that area. That is rich and rich all over the place just to the west of the city.
Yep.
Yeah, and if people just drive just through some of those back roads, you'll be surprised at some of the mansions that they have back there. I know Jeffrey Lurie. If you ride back there, you can ride by his you can't see it. His house is back there. Even, there's some big time. Even when Randall was in Cherry Hill, a lot of guys stayed in Jersey when we played, just right across the bridge. That was the first time I seen a 3-level house with gold gates, with statues inside the house. So there's a lot of pimped out real estate in Philadelphia. And obviously he's going to need it, because trust me, those fans, if once they find out where he lives, if he has a bad game or that they don't win at all, he's going to see some stuff flying over that wall. And I always tell the story. My rookie year, I had the worst game probably of my rookie year when we lost to the Cowboys in the playoffs. That next morning, fans found out where I lived, and I was getting snowballs thrown at my window, and my car was vandalized. So it's a really nice neighborhoods out there in Philadelphia. Don't worry about LeBron and where he goes there.
I personally think they should do a reboot of the original cartoon Fat Albert and bring back Albert, bring back Donald, bring back Mushmouth, and now you include LeBron.
You can't bring back the voice. Cosby ain't welcome.
They don't. Someone else can impersonate that. You don't have Jim Henson isn't doing Kermit anymore. They could get someone to do those voices.
Hey, Cosby is cool in Philly. Cosby gets a pass in Philly, man. People love Bill Cosby still in Philly, man. That was a cool
one of the greatest
cool highlight back in the day. When we saw Bill Cosby walk in our locker room and talking, we were like, man, that's Bill Cosby. So, that's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother topic.
Yes. Yeah, but it's still one of the greatest cartoons that always had some of the best soundtracks. Come on now.
It was amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, I love that cartoon. Willie, Cofield, Mark McMillan. Mark, we got 2 minutes left, so a couple of questions here, rapid fire. One, I sent you over a list that we can work off of the best off seasons, most improved team in the off season. The Eagles were listed 8 on the list I sent you. I would bump up the Eagles for a couple of reasons. I keep saying addition by subtraction, no A.J. Brown there. What are you hearing on Jalen Hurts? Because I just told, I was just saying to the audience here, hey, there's a lot of pressure on him. Did Jalen Hurts maybe take some of the criticism to heart, or was the criticism unfounded from A.J. Brown? Like, what's going on now with this group of receivers with Jalen Hurts?
Well, talking to one of my reliable sources that was a member of the Philadelphia Eagles and 2 of their Super Bowl teams last week in Philadelphia, it was just a divided locker room. And A.J. Brown was the head of the division, just trying to turn everybody against Jalen Hurts, which is really bad. And just hearing that coming from my reliable source, because I don't want people to be like trying to hit him up like, yo, Mark told me you said this. So, now he's working out with the young guys in the offseason. Well, it's not the offseason anymore. But that was the first time Jalen Hurts actually took the group of wide receivers and worked out as a group and not as far as individuals with A.J. Brown. So this could be, like I said, it's a good year for him. You got the top receiver. You got Smitty's going to be the guy now. All the drama. Nobody's reading books on the sideline. So it was a lot of drama, man, hearing of some of the stuff that went on in that locker room. Obviously, players, we got a code that we don't tell what goes around in the locker room. But, Steve, off the record, man, I'll tell you some of the crap that Buddy was pulling inside the locker room.
I'm looking forward to it.
That was not cool.
Yeah, we'll be hooking up on the sidelines next week for UNLV camp opening up. Hey, last one. I know, you make all these great meals, and Chef Mark is with us. He was part of Next Level Chef, season 2 with Gordon Ramsay. And deep down, you're a meat and potatoes guy. And I saw something. It looked like you did some meat and potatoes. Did you use the pizza oven?
Yes, I got my Pyro pizza oven from Grilla Grills, man. I was like, I've been making some pizza, making my own dough of late. I was like, I wonder how good a steak will be inside the pizza oven. So, man, what I did, I got me a nice little New York strip. I got me some green beans. I got me some mushrooms, and I got me some little yellow potatoes. I made my own garlic compound butter. I put that skillet inside that pizza oven for like 30 minutes. That pizza oven was like 800 degrees. And once you put that steak in it, man, it just started sizzling. Oh, my goodness. Then you just drizzle a little butter on it. And then the green beans and potatoes took like 60 seconds to cook. That's how hot that pizza oven is. So if you got a pizza oven out there, I highly recommend you heat up yourself a cast iron skillet, put you a little butter in it, and I put a little beef tallow as well on top of the steak, so it just gives it that much. It was so buttery, so juicy. I sent out a picture, man. If you tweet out that picture, people go like, "What? He made that in a pizza oven?" Absolutely, man. Gordon Ramsay, eat your heart out, baby. We didn't have no pizza oven on the show.
Mark McMillan 29 up on Twitter. Mark, have a good week. Football's here, so we'll be getting you on as much as you're available every week. Thank you for popping on this Friday. We'll see you, buddy.
I'm excited, man. Let's get it going, baby. Go Rebels. Let's go.
Here's Mark McMillan, former Eagle, former Chief, former Saint, former Redskin. That's what they were called at the time. Former Niner, nearly 9 years in the NFL. Mighty Mouse, Mark McMillan. On the way back, Willie's going to get into his handicap of some of the action this week, and especially with the skills competition, three-point shooting competition in and at the WNBA All-Star Game.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio. It's an interleague primetime showdown. Ben Rice leads the New York Yankees into Philadelphia to go head-to-head with Kyle Schwarber and the Phillies.
Out of here! Kyle Schwarber, and this place is going bananas.
The Yankees and Phillies on Sunday Night Baseball.
On ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Chuck, where can I find your nearest location in Southern Nevada?
Great question. The best way to find us is Google Dollar Loan Center near me, or go to don'tbebroke.com, where you can even apply online if you like.
Well, I use ChatGPT now.
I'm sure that would work too. The bottom line is it's worth the effort. We save customers a lot compared to other payday or title places, and we lend way more. We even give all new customers the first week's interest on us, sort of a free trial. There's no fee to apply, and they can keep this loan out for up to a year if they really need to.
Founded in Las Vegas over 28 years ago, DLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by any of our 25 nearby locations to meet our real friendly staff. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Subject to approval. Limitations may apply. See website for details.
It's not about the injury. It's about the recovery. Hi, this is Paul Pata from Paul Pata Law. You know, life can change as you know it in an instant. If you've been injured due to someone else's negligence, don't go it alone. Our team of legal experts will stand by your side every step of the way, helping you get back on the road to recovery. That means physically, emotionally, and financially. At Paul Pata Law, we're your personal recovery attorneys. Check us out at paulpatalaw.com.
Beat the heat with some cool cash for betting sports on the William Hill mobile app.
With the William Hill Cash Rewards program, you can earn up to $500 in cash. Earn summer rewards points for mobile wagers made until August 31st. Win or lose. You can earn even more rewards points for teasers, parlays, and same-game parlay.
10.
Today and opt in to enroll in summer rewards. To see participating locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Now back to Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas.
Sam Panayotovich coming up in less than 10 minutes, our Gambling Insider on Fridays. Willie, I saw that you were doing a bunch of not only WNBA videos, but a lot of handicapping videos and WNBA handicapping, which is pretty unique. Not a lot of people have that as a specialty, all up on Ball is Life, right?
Yeah, from day to day with the game, it's with the games, the daily games. But for this All-Star weekend, the one thing that I did zero in on was the 3-point shootout. Now, I am a little worried, Steven, because after the orange carpet last night, it appeared the Stud Buds did one of their live streams.
What are the Stud Buds?
Stud Buds, Courtney Williams, Natisha Heidemann. Of course, they were teammates up in Minnesota. Now Natisha's at Seattle. Well, they've dyed their hair blue for Chicago. They've gotten back together for the weekend. They streamed live. They stream live across the platforms. And man, was there some drinking going on live on the stream. And who was on there? We saw AZ Fudd. And who else was on there? We saw Marina Mabry. They were the top two choices.
Oh.
I picked them to be finalists. I'm not sure who all came through. I do know that at one point, Dejanay Carrington and Jackie Young ran through. There were a lot. Then they were out at the club. There was even one clip that went out, and seems like AZ had a couple, and she was yelling, "I'm not cheating on Paige. I'm not cheating on Paige." That was going viral. They have to be in a 3-point shootout. And I don't know who can handle their liquor or who can't. But you know what? The bottom line is you got to go out and perform. You know who I didn't see anywhere? And you know who's coming in with a chip on her shoulder? And I picked Mabry, by the way. But Ryan Howard, if you remember a couple weeks back when Angel Reese said it's a travesty that not one Atlanta Dream name, and she said, I'm not talking about me, but Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray have been in this league, two of the greatest players, and neither one of them are a starter. They're both all-stars, Steve, but it starts tonight. If Ryan Howard has that chip on her shoulder and the other ones are feeling a little hungover, Howard might be the value play.
Sammy P's up next with more gambling talk, as we'll get the updated odds in the Eastern Conference and for the NBA title now that LeBron James has landed in Philly.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I think it's a very important year for Nick Sirianni.
Hey, James, when
it's
you can, if you can jump in the video room.
If they don't have
just so you can
the
see
level
me,
of
I was going to
success
prompt us
that everybody thinks they should, which is not only winning the division, but winning in the postseason, then I think there's a very real scenario.
Say that one more time.
Over the coach of the Philadelphia
if you
Eagles
could please
after
jump
this
into the
season.
video room just so you can see me, because I was going to
Weekday
that last
morning
one,
starting
I
at
was
6
prompt to
Eastern
go right out
on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Technology never stands still. And neither does Les Olson IT. For 70 years and counting, we've helped businesses adapt, grow, and stay secure through every change. With experienced people and smart technology solutions, we make work easier, more productive, and more secure. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Let Les be here for you.
It's time for the Finley Cadillac Henderson Player Performance of the Week.
This week's Finley Cadillac Henderson Player Performance of the Week is coming from the World Cup. And it's not going to one player, but instead the winning country, Spain. Spain secured their second World Cup with a 1-0 victory over Argentina in the World Cup final. Now, we spent a lot of time leading into the final talking about Messi of Argentina and all his greatness at his age of 39 and how this match could be the passing of the torch onto Spain's young sensation, Lamine Yamal. But it was neither one of those guys that were difference makers. Instead, the lone goal was scored by Ferran Torres, who was a 62nd minute substitute, scored the only goal in extra time close to the 106th minute. Here is Torres following the match on that magical moment when the goal was scored and how he feels being a champion.
Ferran Torres, champion of the world. How does that sound?
Honestly, I can't believe it.
try to enjoy, but I don't know what's happening. Tell me about the moment that your beautiful left foot made the contact and the net bulged. Honestly, I didn't think too much. I just saw the ball coming to me, and I just shoot with the power of all the Spanish people.
The other difference maker for Spain was their defense. They were stingy and suffocating all match long, which was par for the course since they only allowed 1 goal throughout the entire tournament, all 8 games. That's the fewest for a World Cup winner, despite playing more games than any previous champion. Their defense was so stingy, they didn't allow a shot attempt to Argentina until the 117th minute when Messi was finally able to get a shot off that would be blocked. Speaking of Messi, the 39-year-old became the first man to start 3 World Cup finals and the oldest outfield player to start a final. Finished the tournament with 8 goals, 2 behind France's Mbappe in the battle for the Golden Boot. Now, he has not confirmed his future plans, but he most likely finished his World Cup career with 21 goals, 1 behind Mbappe. But again, this recognition is not for Messi, it's for Spain, who took home the 2026 World Cup after defeating Argentina 1-0 in the 104th and last match of the biggest World Cup, a 48-team event that played out in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. There were 308 total goals scored in the World Cup and entertained many walks of life, from soccer diehards, casuals, or even those that are watching for the first time. Congratulations to Spain on their first World Cup title since they defeated Netherlands in South Africa back in 2010. And congratulations to the sport of soccer. That was the Findlay Cadillac Player Performance of the Week, brought to you by Findlay Cadillac Henderson, the prestigious Cadillac Dealer of the Year. You can explore their inventory online at FindlayCadillac.com, or you can do like I did, visit their state-of-the-art showroom located at 993 Auto Show Drive. Check out my favorite, you know what that is, the Escalade, or the Escalade IQ. You can check out the Lyriq, the CT4, or my new favorite, the CT5, or any of their other luxurious vehicles and SUVs that they have in stock. The one thing you got to do when you get there is let them know that your boy Q sent you.
That was the Findlay Cadillac Player Performance of the Week, brought to you by Findlay Cadillac Henderson.
Vegas, are you ready? Your Las Vegas Rockers are storming back into the Orleans Arena this Saturday night for a showdown you don't want to miss. Watch the Rockers battle the Cincinnati Slingers in a night of hard hits, high-flying touchdowns, and non-stop arena football mayhem. The lights are bright, the crowd will be loud, and the energy will be pure Vegas. Tickets start at just $30 plus fees, so get yours now at LasVegasRockers.com. Bring your friends, bring the family, and bring the noise this Saturday night for Las Vegas Rockers football.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back, plus $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible ported, no cash access, and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks and a member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
Every year, the America First Charitable Foundation Backpack Bonanza provides kids with the school supplies they need to learn and thrive. You can help by dropping off supplies at any America First branch or by securely contributing funds online.
All right, we have Sam.
To succeed. So please visit AmericaFirst.com to see the items we're collecting or to donate today. The America First Charitable Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. Federal tax ID number 84-256886. Donations are tax deductible to the extent allowed by law.
Summer can be messy, but lunch doesn't have to be. Let Port of Subs Catering handle the food so you can enjoy the fun.
Sliced fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Sports gambling insider Sammy P joins Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas.
All right, so much to get to with Sammy P from Fox Sports and Fox Chicago. Sam, I got to start out with, because I think I know the answer to this one. You were doing a soccer betting podcast, right? Is that going to end, or are you going to keep doing it moving forward?
I think we'll re-rack it 4 years from now, Steve. I think that's the plan. They wanted to do something just solely based around the World Cup, and they called it Friendly Wager, which I wrote once a week, and it lasted the entire World Cup. Actually made some money, if you want to confirm. I don't remember the exact count. I think it was like 5 units or something like that. But they were looking for an initiative to sort of have fun betting the World Cup. They let Bear handle all the sharp stuff, like the first half under and all that. And I was like, let's bet the draw, or let's bet this guy to score 2 goals or whatever. And the biggest cash was actually, we had a full match draw on Argentina and Cape Verde. Remember that game? That was the one where Cape Verde tied it with, I don't know, like 2 minutes to go in regulation. And the guy took his shirt off and ran into the stands and celebrated with his family. So that was a 7-1 draw, because nobody thought that Cape Verde, of all teams, was going to tie the mighty Messi in Argentina. It was a fun run, but World Cup only. Sorry.
Sammy P with us from Fox 32. He's now a sports reporter in his hometown of Chicago. I want to play up the going home theme for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm sort of back home. I'm in New Jersey, so I wanted to ask you our question of the day here in a second. But how excited is Chicago to have Kane back in town?
Oh, they're elated. I think it's such a nostalgic thing because, Kane grew up here. And when he was, 22 years old, he hoisted the Stanley Cup and broke this long-winded drought that the Blackhawks had in this town. Blackhawks hadn't won since, I believe, the 60s with Hull and Makita. So to get a championship back on the hockey side of things and then win again and then win a third time, that's essentially a dynasty when you win in 2010, 13, and 15. So they're just over the moon about 88 coming back for Showtime. That said, Steve, he's 37 years old. He's going to be 38 this season. So I think the fans have to obviously temper their expectations. Kane is still effective. Last year, 67 games. He had 57 points. He's going to be a top 6 winger, no doubt, and he's going to be very, very important on the power play. But to expect him to come into town and score 90 or 100 points is just unrealistic because that's not who he is anymore.
So for me, coming back home is a lot about food. But, I always forget that there is a beer that I can't get in Vegas. And believe it or not, it's old school Schaefer beer, which my connection with Schaefer is I remember them sponsoring like every baseball team, going way back before my time, but even more recently, say 40 years ago. The Mets. You're a beer drinker from time to time. You guys still have old school? Is there an old school or an old style? Is there an old school beer that might not be around or that you love to get now that you're back in Chicago?
To be honest with you, I hate to correct you on your own program, but I'm not a beer guy anymore.
Oh,
I'm just not. Look, I'm getting my fair share of Jack Daniels and Jameson. Don't you worry. But when we were kids, we used to drink Hams. And the only reason we drank Hams is because we'd give our older brothers or our friends' older brothers like $20. We'd pool $20 together and be like, hey, go get us some beer. And then they'd come home with a sixer of Hams, which probably cost about 7 cents. And then they'd keep the change, So you'd have, 3 of your buddies and 6 Hams. We used to drink that. And then if you had an older brother or a buddy's older brother who was a prick, you'd get like Red Dog or something like that. So those were the beers we drank when we were younger because you couldn't buy beer. But the big beer here is Goose Island. Like the 312, the actual Goose Island itself, the Goose Island IPA. Those are the Chicago-centric beers. And, of course, Old Style is the beer of the North Side. That's what they drink at Wrigley, and Cub fans have been drinking it forever. Another one, you remember this one? Remember Schlitz?
Of course.
Yeah, Schlitz was a big one. I think it's out of business, though. I don't think they make it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. There was actually our buddies at Jackson Bar and Grill had like an old school beer thing of like, it's probably like 12 years ago now. And I loved drinking Schlitz. So I'm actually, correct me if I'm wrong. Your father was or is in the biz, isn't he?
He was the liquor commissioner for the state of Illinois. He was.
That's in the biz.
Well,
was
right? Yeah,
he's.
It's funny, Dad. Well, Dad's going to be out. I didn't even tell you this. I don't know why I can't tell you on the air, so I will. I'll be out there for Bet Bash early August. I think it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my dad is actually coming with me. He just turned 80, so happy late birthday,
Nice.
Dad. July 6th. So maybe we can all get together and try and track down some Schlitz in Vegas.
Do it. 2 more Chicago topics since Sammy's not only a gambling expert, but he's back there as a sports reporter in Chicago. Were you actually out at Northwestern at Ryan Field? Did you get a look? And I thought that get up give the guy credit. Chip Kelly's got a sense of humor.
Oh, he does. I will say there's some context that needs to be added because the Wildcats are unveiling their brand new stadium on October 2nd, I believe. It's early October, and it's not the beginning of the season, but that field is basically 85% finished right now. So all of the reporters and all of the coaches were wearing vests and hard hats and boots because it's an active construction site. That gets lost in the tweet. But when I put the tweet up and it's Chip Kelly in a purple vest with a white hard hat, and he's at the podium. And I think I put Chip Kelly, purple vest, hard hat, football guy. And then Big Cat from Barstool retweeted it, and then everybody. I mean, it had 2.8 million views, which is stupid to even think about. But it went as viral as it could go. But we were all wearing the same stuff. Now, I didn't wear the purple vest because I would never. You wouldn't find me dead in the purple vest. I had the normal neon vest on. But that was a press conference that Northwestern held at their field to sort of show us the new stadium. So he was not the only one wearing that getup.
Okay, let's get into the news of the day. And believe it or not, I was when I was getting ready this morning for today's show, I hadn't even seen LeBron officially do Philly when you sent me that meme. And I love these memes because they're put out by a lot of times it's gambling companies like who's going to beat this starting five now that LeBron's in Philadelphia. Truth be told, their odds did change, but they're not some overwhelming favorite to win the title. Their odds improved, but give the audience a story now on the odds for the Eastern Conference and the title.
They got slashed basically in half. That's a fair way to put it. They were in that 20-1 range. I think one book had a 22-1 on the Sixers to win the title before LeBron decided to go there and take his talents to another team. So annoying, such a front runner, but whatever. Now they're in that 8-9-1 range. So yeah, I mean that's fair to say they've been cut almost in half. They're also like on line 2, a very close line 2 to win the East. So the Knicks are favored about plus 340 or so, and then the Sixers are plus 350 or 360. So they're second favorite to win the East, and the third favorite to win the title, third or fourth, depending on where you shop. But you're right. I mean, there's a decided gap between the top two teams, and that's, of course, the Thunder and the Spurs. They're in that 3-1 range, and then you see the Sixers 8 or 9. They're good. I mean, on paper, they are. I have my concerns. There's only one basketball, famously. And, Embiid can't stay on the court. So I think it's silly to expect him to be, a mail lifter or a mail carrier all season. They might just save him up for the playoffs. But on paper, man, they have everything. And they have one of the greatest facilitators of all time in LeBron. I think he's right under Magic in terms of getting people the ball in the right spaces. You got shooting. You've got scoring, you've got post players, you got guys that play defense, you got great range, you got a lot of wingspan. It's a really talented team. I just hate that LeBron, again, is making another super team. It's really annoying.
So let's address a couple things. I see you have good perspective on this because you were in Boston up until recently. You're around Jaylen Brown. You're around that story. I saw a smart alecky tweet. Someone said, so Jaylen Brown didn't want to be Robin in Boston. Now he will be Alfred in Philly. Does anyone actually believe that Jaylen Brown is not going to be the leading scorer and that he's going to be the go-to guy in Philly? And now it might not be 27 points a game. He's going to be the go-to guy.
Yeah, he's probably their best all-around player at this point. And you could make the case that he was in Boston, too. I mean, you could. Yeah. But the truth there, I mean, I can say it because I don't care. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum hate each other. Like, that's what happened. Yeah. So, I mean, it's really that simple. And, like, if anybody wants to call me out on that, I have facts on that. So that's what it was. You had two guys who came up together. And, I think Tatum was sort of the chosen one. And Jaylen Brown didn't like that. Last year when Tatum was hurt, Jaylen Brown famously said, like, oh, this is my most important year of my career. And it's like they just won the championship the year prior, the year before or whatever. So that was a weird comment. But they just clearly don't like each other. But, yeah, I mean, if you had to make me make odds on the leading scorer in Philly, I would probably go Jaylen Brown 1, and I would go Tyrese Maxey 2, LeBron 3.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to pick a fight with you. But I also want to see what other Chicago people, and maybe this isn't a topic you even care about to ask other people. When I hear people who, and I'm not saying you're a Jordan lover, but Jordan is the guy that LeBron is compared to, and people will say, hey, Jordan didn't go and chase rings at the end of the career. I will ask you, why didn't he? Why did he go to a crappy Wizards team? Because my assertion would be that MJ at the end of his career was as concerned about womanizing, his gambling issues, and also his ego being the biggest guy on the Wizards, rather than go join a team to win a title. Why didn't he go and join a good team and be part of a good team and maybe be the number 2 or 3 option and win more titles?
Well, I don't have that answer, but I'll do my best. I've never asked Michael this, and I never will. But I mean, he was an owner. He was a part owner of the Wizards. That's why he went to Washington.
So that's sweet in the pot.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I believe he became a part of the group in the late '90s or early 2000s. Like maybe let's call it 2000.
Right.
And then the coach at the time was Doug Collins, who was one of his early coaches in Chicago. So it was a natural fit from a synergy standpoint. But Michael, like anybody who knows Michael knows this. He's not trying to join you. He's trying to kill you. Like he doesn't want to team up and slap ass. He wants to, like, if you've ever played poker with Michael Jordan and you've ever taken him for a little bit, like I got buddies that took Michael for 10, 20,000 and Michael doesn't let you leave. He's like, come on, let's keep going. And eventually you have no money left because Michael has endless. I mean, he goes into the back and gets $100,000 and just throws it on the table. So he is so competitive and such an alpha personality wise. That's why he never wanted to join up with, Reggie Miller or Patrick Ewing. Like he wanted to shove those guys in the trash. Charles Barkley, another example. He didn't want to play with you. He wanted to rip your throat out.
So his ego was too big to humble himself and go win a title. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you're a LeBron guy and I'm not. I'm a Jordan guy. You're not. It's very clear.
Yeah. I'm not really an anti-Jordan guy. I just think that he's held up in such reverence sometimes. I think we need to look back on the end of his career. But I definitely fight on behalf of LeBron because I hear the other side of it. Okay. Last minute. This is important because I want to wet the whistle on college football because we're looking at, now about 40 days until week 0. Week 1 on Bear Bets, were you guys talking about UTEP and Oklahoma and having a play in that game?
I only brought it up because we were talking about the college football season, being right around the corner. And I had the board up. So I'm looking at all these lines and most of the lines are, 3, 7, 10 or whatever. And then I landed on Oklahoma UTEP, which I thought was very funny because the total is 49 and the spread is 41. So what the books are basically saying is UTEP is likely to not score a touchdown. Like that, the line is saying this is, 45-3, essentially. Like that's kind of what it is. So that's why it's so funny. And then one of the guys goes, "Oh, we're taking the points."
I love it. I think in the last couple seconds here, we got like 40 seconds left. I think one of the interesting angles that I haven't seen really people jump on too much is Heisman with John Mateer is a long shot at 25-1. One of the stories that came out of the SEC media day is that he put on like 20 pounds of muscle. I don't know if you saw this, but some people are like, "Hey, he's a little over muscled." The jacket, he had a sports coat on. It didn't fit him. So I almost wonder if this will be analyzed and what his numbers could be and what Oklahoma's going to be.
I want no part of the Mateer Heisman stuff. Just because he's jacked doesn't mean he's good. I think he's a solid quarterback. He's not. I don't think he's winning the Heisman. Yeah. Here's something to chew on, though.
Yep.
Look at Penn State. Look at some of their futures. They don't play Oregon, they don't play Indiana, and they don't play Ohio State this year. That's going to be a team nobody wants to bet, but they're going to be a lot better than
30.
Yep, and they stole like 25 players from Iowa State. I assume he stole the best players, including a good quarterback in Rocco Beck. So college football's here, baby. I'm ready. Sammy, thank you.
I'm ready.
Appreciate it. Have a good weekend, buddy.
I'll see you in Vegas soon.
There he is, early August. Well, yeah, I guess that's next week. Time flies, man. Time flies. It's already August. Football season is here. Hall of Fame game for the NFL is coming up on August 6th, so we're like 13 days away from that. Big 4 o'clock hour on the way. A lot more LeBron to Philly talk.
Sunday afternoon MLB action as the New York Yankees are in the city of brotherly love, taking on the Phillies. Sunday at 4 on ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM.
Brought to you by Paul Pata Law. It's not about the injury, it's about the recovery.
Plumbers, HVAC techs, contractors, and DIYers. McFadden-Dale Industrial Hardware has the tools, parts, and supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden-Dale Industrial Hardware, fast, easy, and built for the pros.
Whether you're shopping for the perfect engagement ring or cashing in old gold jewelry, go see the people we trust. Michael E. Minden Diamond Jewelers, the diamond and wedding ring store. Who's got the best deals on the jewelry you're looking for? It's Michael E. Minden Diamond Jewelers.
Beat the heat with some cool cash for betting sports on the William Hill mobile app. With the William Hill Cash Rewards program, you can earn up to $500 in cash. Earn summer rewards points for mobile wagers made until August 31st. Win or lose, you can earn even more rewards points for teasers, parlays, and same-game parlays. Sign up for the William Hill mobile.
Hey, so we still need some access just to one of the documents. I think it's just for the rundown, just for our guests, just to have access to it.
But lunch doesn't have to be. Let Portive Subs Catering handle the food so you can enjoy the fun.
Sliced fresh sandwiches, Portive Subs.
Miss a show? Check out
10 seconds.
everything ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM, KWWN Las Vegas. It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
Here we go, 4 o'clock hour, and one last chance this week to qualify for our Lotus Summer of Fun. It is brought to you by Terribles and ESPN Las Vegas, and we give out a code word every day for a weekly trip. We got trips going all the way through the middle of next month. This week's trip is a Southern California themed trip. We're doing all America trips for America 250. Today's code word is strong. Strong. The word strong. You text it to 702-364-1100. 702-364-1100. Strong is the keyword of the day, and it's your chance to qualify for a great trip. We're doing it every week throughout the summer. A couple more weeks to go in the Lotus Summer of Fun, Big Four time.
Battleborn Injury Lawyers presents the Big Four at 4. Number 4.
All right, Willie, as I've mentioned a couple of times, the road trip is on, so I'm doing some shows from the Northeast. And, you know, when you travel, especially to home areas, there's a lot of food items you miss. I will say Vegas is as much home for me as New Jersey is. And one of the things that they don't really have here in mass quantity is awesome Mexican food, which... when I get Mexican food, especially if it's with the SO, there may be a tequila shot thrown down here and there. I don't know that I'm going to fire any tequila. I mentioned I'm drinking a lot of beer here, so I'm drinking my Schaefer beer. Today is actually National Tequila Day.
It is National Tequila Day, so I think that you should at least find a little way to have a little snoot before the end of the night. It's 7 o'clock there, so you have 5 hours to partake.
Oh, believe me, I'm sure I can, because I am right down the road from where Jersey Shore was filmed.
Yep.
In Seaside, so I can probably go over. I don't think Karma's open anymore, but damn, and now I just blanked on the freaking Hook. I think it's called another bar that they frequented, a pirate themed bar. So I guess I can make my way over there. Are you a tequila guy?
I used to be a heavy tequila guy. I mean, before all these eccentric creations, it was Cuervo. I mean, back in the day, it was just there was nothing else. I mean, it was you were doing shots at Cuervo. I remember the club down the street, Tramps. The girl would walk around with the holsters and the tequila bottle in each side, and then with the leather straps across the front, where normally that's where the bullets would go in the old Western days, but this is where the shot glasses were, and they would just walk around $5 shots of tequila. Now it's about $20 for a. So if I go out and I'm going to sip on, or if some of the old school fellas we get together, there's a couple of places, a couple of old casinos that we will meet at a restaurant bar tucked away, put our $40 in and play the spot Keno, and just hang out for a few hours, watch a game. I will sip on a nice chilled reposado.
I can do a little repo, a little añejo. You know what? I'm actually a really big fan of mezcal.
What's the one with the designer blue bottle and you hit it and it chimes? What's that one?
I just blanked on it.
That's Jordan's.
I think it's Claza Azul.
That's it.
Which every year on Tequila Day you mention that, and I blank, and then I remember it. Yes,
that's Jordan's tequila.
Yes.
He likes that one.
But I will say,
I like the one
if you talk to tequila experts,
yeah,
a lot of times they kind of shoot down the stuff that's in the prettiest bottles, and they're like, "Hey, here's the same stuff. It's better. Here's better value." Now I'm not that discerning, so if your son loves it, enjoy it.
I like the Casamigos. I think that's Clooney's.
Yes.
$20.
But I know your sons, if you want to get a shot out and about, there are places that might charge you from $35 to $55 a shot.
Oh, not Big Shot Jordan. No, it's
which I think it's probably about $180 a bottle at your local liquor store in Las Vegas. Not that I've gotten it before, but maybe I have.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Number 3.
Number 3.
We never got to hit on what's going on with the Golden Knights in terms of the schedule. So what did we see that was interesting on the 26-27 schedule release?
Yeah, there's some interesting games. Couple of notable games, if you will. First of all, the first overall pick comes to town with the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is kind of it goes beyond the Golden Knights playing against if he were to play the first overall pick. But of course, that's Mitch Marner's former team. The annual Nevada Day game, October 30th, that will be against the New Jersey Devils. But I think one of the games a lot of people will want to see will be on December 21st. That's in Raleigh. That is the rematch against the Hurricanes, but the Hurricanes will be back on January 17th. So if you're looking for the revenge game against the team that beat the Golden Knights for the Stanley Cup, that's on January 17th. Keegan Colasar, who has been a part of this organization or was a part of the organization long before City National Arena was built. I remember the first time I met him and interviewed him was at a development camp right up the street from here on West Flamingo at the Ice Center. His return game, and I got news for you. He's going to get one of the biggest return applauses. He's turned into such a fan favorite now with the Red Wings. That's on February 15th. The Golden Knights will go and play in Jerry World. They're heading to Texas. They'll play a Stadium Series games. These are these gimmicky games, the Winter Classic, the Stadium Series. They're going to be playing the Dallas Stars on February 19th inside AT&T Stadium. Pavel Dorofeyev, the leading scorer for the Golden Knights the last 2 seasons. He is back on March 13th with the New York Rangers. So there's some dates to remember, the notable dates and games for this year's Golden Knights.
By the way, coming up in about 15 minutes in this 4 o'clock hour on ESPN Reno and ESPN Las Vegas, we have a good Willie conversation with Marlon Wayans. Yeah, Marlon Wayans, who was in the building yesterday. Really good, deep conversation on sports and other stuff. Number 2.
Number 2.
Victor Wembanyama, Caitlin Clark, and Derrick Rose tabbed as the NBA 2K cover athletes. What's going on here?
Well, I think the biggest star. Who would you say is the biggest star of those 3 for selling that product?
Probably Wemby.
You think so?
Yeah, Caitlin Clark close. Derrick Rose for the old heads. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Caitlin Clark cover is going to outsell the Wemby.
Possibly.
Really do.
It's an NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, at this point I have no idea how guys react. So I guess that the whole legion of the political football people who love Caitlin Clark, are they real people? Are they bots? I mean, would they buy it to play it or have it as a collector's item? Maybe, but I don't even know if a lot of those are real people.
But so wait a minute, when you get NBA 2K27,
you're asking the wrong guy. What guy to ask?
I'm wondering if you open the game like within the game. It doesn't. WNBA doesn't have its own, but when you put it in, does it have WNBA options? Do those video games have the WNBA? They do have the W. Our guest in the studio says yes, they do.
This is probably a question best suited for maybe Miles Simmons.
Oh yeah, maybe Xavier. Xavier might have.
Like he's a gamer. He's like that.
Yeah. But he's not cantankerous like us.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, no, he's not. He's absolutely not. All right, top story. This is a big one.
Number 1.
So tomorrow is actually a big day for the WNBA with the All-Star Weekend. They're going to have the skills competition that'll include the 3-point shootout. The game is on Sunday, if I'm correct. Tomorrow also includes, Willie, a commissioner's press conference
Yeah.
The way Kathy Engelbert has handled her press conferences of late, which she doesn't have many, she's not available very often. She's been a disaster. I thought ESPN, and I think Ramona Shelburne and
Alexa Philippou, right?
Vopel, contributed to a story by Alexa Philippou.
Yeah.
This was a tremendous, tremendous story talking about the league's success, but will Kathy Engelbert be around much longer? And when I read it, I was like, yep, I get it. She is not the right person for the job anymore. This league has changed. This ain't going to work.
Yeah, Alexa did a fantastic job. You could tell that she's been working on this. Probably she already does her share of traveling. Alexa's a fantastic writer, fantastic reporter. She's actually joined the board for the Professional Basketball Writers Association at the WNBA division. So you could tell that she's been working on this since the start of the season in her travels, asking people, obviously using her Rolodex. And you mentioned Kathy's availabilities and press conferences. I remember when Kathy, we'll put it this way. Where was she for the ring ceremony? Where was she for the banner raising? Where was she as far as she used to be accessible?
Yep.
I remember just walking up to Kathy and say, "Hey, can I get you for a quick? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, no problem. Okay, we go in the back tunnel." And I think the biggest moment that saw where Kathy was visibly shaken and knew that she no longer had, I don't want to say people on her side or the media on her, but just she was looked at in a different light, was last year's press conference. The one availability, they do it at the start of the WNBA finals, they do it at All-Star Weekend, was here in that crammed room that we were all crammed inside of, just days after Nafisa Collier had called her out and slammed her. But she was very uncomfortable. And you know what else? She didn't make herself available or stick around to say hi to anybody. She always used to do that. She could say whatever she wants. She knows how to sort of prepare herself, but under the gun, under fire, she's definitely feeling the pressure.
Yeah, a couple of comments in the story. One team executive told ESPN, here we are in the WNBA with all the stuff that's happened, and it just at different points has felt like, quote, where are you? Like she's just not available. Beyond that, conversations with more than 20 stakeholders in and around the WNBA who spoke on anonymity, condition of anonymity, including owners, management, players, and other industry insiders, offer a general belief that as much business growth Engelbert has overseen, she's not the right person to navigate the demands the league currently faces. The league has reached a level. It is now successful. The money part, a lot of it has been achieved. Now they need someone who is slick, who is smooth. And I didn't realize what her background was until I read the story. She comes from the world of Deloitte and Touche. She was very successful there. And in the story, it mentions she was judged by measurements and metrics. That's not this position anymore. And if she can't be the front-facing leader of the league, and this is nothing against her, job qualifications change. If she can't do press conferences, if she's not accessible, if she doesn't want to talk to the players. I mean, there was stuff in the story like she still has not spoken to Alyssa Thomas after the fist to the neck, the suspension, the news that came out that Silver forced the suspension, and the news that Alyssa Thomas was getting death threats. The league ain't that big,
right.
Kath. I mean, come on. You got to talk to the players. She doesn't really have a relationship or speak with Caitlin Clark. I mean, this is lunacy. Have you ever heard of this with Adam Silver? Because that is the standard when it comes to basketball.
Yeah, it's troubling. And, you and I, as we have progressed along with the league in terms of the coverage and the amount of time we spent. I mean, think about it, Steve. The Big Four might have been all the WNBA we talked about 4 years ago. And then as the Aces grew, the popularity of the league continued, and all along with it. And we have 3-4 top throughout the show. But one of the things that we've always gone back on was, has the league caught up with the demand? They want to be treated equally. They want to be treated. And then when the media presses them, they back off and they don't want that kind of. Well, you know what? I think Kathy can't handle the growth just as much as we claim the players can't.
She's overwhelmed, and she's just not the communicator. It doesn't seem at that level. I highly recommend reading the story on ESPN.com about the future of the commish, Kathy Engelbert with the WNBA. Giveaway time, 364-1100. We got Guns N' Roses tickets, pair tickets, August 22nd at the Owl. You can grab yours if you don't win these at Ticketmaster.com. Guns N' Roses. James is going to hook you up. Pair tickets. 364-1100, 364-1100. On the way back, Willie talks to Marlon Wayans. Believe it or not, the conversation starts with Caitlin Clark, Larry Bird comparisons.
We're hiring at A1 Garage Doors. No experience? No problem. We provide full training, a brand new van, top-of-the-line tools, a gas card, and steady jobs with weekly pay. This isn't just a job. It's a career with real growth, great pay, and job security. Our team members go from training to 6 figures, and we're ready to help you do the same. Don't wait. Apply now at a1garage.com/careers.
A1garage.com. A1 from day one.
Is built on service.
Studio lights on, please.
3 shifts a day.
All right, let's do this.
As your morning begins.
It's showtime. We have a lot to talk about live on the program for the next 3 hours.
To do our part, News 3 Today delivers Las Vegas stories that shape your community.
Just in some breaking news on the economics front.
So, whether it's late breaking,
breaking news,
bumper to bumper,
avoid using flamingo,
or clearing skies,
no showers anticipated.
It's News 3 Today.
Vegas, are you ready? Your Las Vegas Rockers are storming back into the Orleans Arena this Saturday night for a showdown you don't want to miss. Watch the Rockers battle the Cincinnati Slingers in a night of hard hits, high-flying touchdowns, and non-stop arena football mayhem. The lights are bright, the crowd will be loud, and the energy will be pure Vegas. Tickets start at just $30 plus fees, so get yours now at LasVegasRockers.com. Bring your friends, bring the family, and bring the noise this Saturday night for Las Vegas Rockers football.
The Golden Circle Sports Bar inside Treasure Island Hotel and Casino is the best place to watch games on the Strip. There's a huge video wall and over 55 plus screens throughout the bar. Place your sports bets at the new STN Sportsbook. The menu with the Golden Circle Burger, the Linebacker Bison Burger, Philly Cheesesteak, the Polish Sausage, and so much more is dynamite. The Golden Circle Sports Bar's happy hour is amazing with $5 draft beers every day from 10 a to 6 p. Treasure Island, the Vegas destination for those seeking a contemporary resort experience with an ideal location on the Las Vegas Strip. And remember, parking is always free.
Call Panda Law 702-818-3888.
Are you one of the many who carry the weight of debt on your shoulders? It's more common than you think.
At Panda, we understand that debt affects people from all walks of life.
From teachers to nurses, firefighters to hospitality workers, even executives and business owners.
We've helped thousands of people just like you break free from the shackles of debt.
Call Panda Law 702-818-3888.
If you've got more than $10,000 in personal or business debt, it's time to get Panda. Our dedicated team is here to guide you towards a brighter, debt-free future.
Don't let debt define your life. Call Panda Law today at 702-818-3888 and let us help you take control of your financial well-being.
We'll work to find the best solution for you. If you've got debt, it's time to get Panda.
Call Panda Law 702-818-3888.
Everyone's so friendly here at Centennial Subaru. Can't walk 10 steps without a belly rub. They feed me snacks, and they even feed humans. Only thing bad I can say is they really like those guys on 2 wheels. This is why we bring our humans here. Go north, US 95 and Ann Road, Centennial Subaru, a short drive from everywhere.
If you need to sell your house,
talk to Aaron Taylor.
You want to sell it fast and get the most cash, talk to Aaron Taylor,
The real estate guy.
Hey Nevada, I'm Jacob Taylor, the real estate guy. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Growing up with Aaron Taylor taught me that nobody negotiates harder or gets seller's top dollar like the real estate guy. Need a cash advance? We can put money in your hands before closing to help with repairs, moving, bills, or whatever you need most. Don't want strangers walking through your home every weekend? No problem. We'll give you one simple number, your bottom line. No commissions, no hidden fees, no guessing. Just a straightforward offer, and in many cases, money in your hands in as little as 3 days. And if you're renting, ask me about My Buy Bank. You'll receive a $2,000 credit plus 10% of your monthly rent, all to use toward the purchase of your next home. Call 702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE. eXp Realty, license number 38886. Call for details.
talk to Aaron Taylor,
The real estate guy.
You wouldn't put your life savings into a slot machine, so why keep it at a big bank, where every month can feel like a gamble? At One Nevada Credit Union, we aren't playing games with your money. You get stability, local service, and better rates. Stop pulling the lever and hoping for the best. Switch to One Nevada Credit Union. Don't gamble with big banks. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Jeff, how's the new job working out?
Really sucks. Terrible boss and the paycheck is even worse. I gotta get a new job.
Truck you.
Wait, what?
Truck you.
You don't have to curse at me.
Dude, you should check out Truck You CDL training. My brother got his CDL license in 4 weeks, and now he has a new career making great money.
Okay, I'm listening.
Truck You offers small classes with night and weekend times available. They will even help with payment programs. Check them out. LV.com. Truck You.
Summer can be messy, but lunch doesn't have to be. Let Portive Subs Catering handle the food so you can enjoy the fun.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Portive Subs.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million.
10 seconds.
At ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
Really cool opportunity this week at Lotus Broadcasting. Marlon Wayans was in the building because he's got a big shindig going down at the MGM starting tonight and through the weekend. And Willie sat down with Marlon Wayans and actually started talking some hoopage. And the comparison came out immediately about what Caitlin Clark deals with and Larry Bird.
I don't think it's a personal thing. It's just like, look, we here to play ball. I know you nice. Larry Bird went through the same thing that Caitlin Clark went through. You know what I mean? If Michael Jordan went through the same thing that Caitlin Clark went through, that Larry Bird went through. Remember they used to scratch Jordan out the sky? All of this is, as an individual, these are obstacles in your way to that you have to endure in order to become the great. So welcome it all. Welcome all the challenges. Give me all the smoke. Because at the end of the day, it makes the elixir that much greater. So you want to be challenged. And it's not, I don't think it's racial and we shouldn't make it that way. I don't think it's picking on. I just think, hey, man, it's basketball. It's a sport. You're going to get hurt.
Speaking of challenges, and you mentioned, maybe not a big sports fan. I don't know if you played sports, but I mean, when y'all were younger, the Wayans brothers ushered in a pathway for a lot of people, not just your family. Starting with In Living Color and even before that with your older brother Keenan. I mean, there are a lot of people that became stars because of your family, but for yourself, I mean, I remember watching In Living Color and how great it was. How much can you relate back to the things that you went through or your brothers went through and your family went through to get to where you're at now and appreciate those struggles back then?
I love every lump we ever had because those were lessons and it gave us more motivation, more inspiration, and we continue to do it, right? And we're still not there yet. We're still working, grinding movie to movie to make sure we get to where we're getting. And if you can't endure the lumps, then you're never going to be successful. You know how many times I gotten told no? You know how many movies bomb? You know how many times a stand-up set don't go right? Like, man, that's part of the process. Keep playing and keep learning and keep getting better.
Two of the movies that I could think of back when I was, coming out of high school, but, I think about them often because of the climate that we're living in today. One is Robert Townsend's Hollywood Shuffle.
Oh, yeah.
And the other is Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. They came out a couple of years apart from one another. When you think back, being in that industry and growing up with, in there, in reality, that was 40 years ago. It was forecasting to a lot of things we're still seeing in 2026.
Mm-hmm. They had their finger on the pulse of pop culture and of society. And, Spike is a great filmmaker and a legend. And so is Robert, a great filmmaker and a legend. And Robert is like a big brother to me. I was lucky to be on set for some of these movies and some of these TV shows and Partners in Crime. And those were some of my first acting gigs. And, they're just legendary. And if it wasn't for them paving the way, then I don't know if we would have, been able to follow that. They trailblaze, and so we just follow those footsteps. My big brother Keenan, him, Spike, Robert, they all came up together, Eddie, and luckily me and Sean had that, those footprints to follow.
Yeah, and some of the racial overtones that were used in serious movies or in dialogue in those two movies, but even so, when you go back to the 70s and 80s of stand-up, Richard Pryor, Don Rickles, George Carlin, into Eddie Murphy, could comedy from back then fly like it does now?
Absolutely, and it still does. We just it's not as loud when people try to numb it down, but at the end of the day, yeah, man, that's always going to be relevant. It's always going to be, as long as there's race, politics, socioeconomics, there's always going to be different opinions. There's always going to be something to talk about. There's always a laugh to be had. I don't mind making fun of different people and different races, and different races making fun of me. I think it's all part of comedy. At the end of the day, I just want people to laugh and have a good time. Don Rickles, one of the funniest comedians ever. Did a lot of racial humor. Brilliant. I don't get mad. None of his black jokes ever offended me. They made me laugh. Jokes are meant to make you laugh. They're not meant to tear you down. You're putting too much credence on a joke. It's just a joke. So the purpose of a joke is to make you laugh. So do that. Try to enjoy. Nobody's trying to break you. They're trying to make you. And I think laughter brings us closer together. And the more we can make fun of ourselves and each other and remember that, in the day, we're all human. And that's all that matters. We all bleed. We all die. We all, breathe the same air. End of the day, it's not about your color, my color. That's the stuff you make fun of. It's obvious. How much money you make, I make, or what you drive. Find the funny. Enjoy your life.
You and I are relatively the same age. Yeah. I think I got a couple of years on you, but we grew up when the hip hop era was coming to life, and it was right before gangster rap. You're close friends with Tupac, and that was when like the Sugar Hill Gang and Nucleus and Planet Rock and Egyptian Lover, that was part of a vibe and part of a culture that embraced everybody, but it brought that urban culture together. It brought the breakdance and the hip hop dancing, and then it transitioned to where we're at, and it's grown and evolved. Do you like where the hip hop culture has grown and evolved? Do you think it could have done better? Where are you at with that?
I think there's things missing. I miss when hip hop had a soul. I remember when it had a conscience. I remember when, it was more than just women and weed and bottles and, Molly and of that culture. I remember when people rapped about, stopping violence. I remember when people rapped about their experience in the hood and how they lost a friend. And, and I remember when rap, you take a guy like Tupac who, he does those gangster raps, but wrote one of the most beautiful love songs to his mama. I think that there has to be a spectrum, right? And we have to have each color and everything represented. And I think it needs some more positive music put in, not all this ignorant stuff all the time. And I know I sound like my parents when, when we were young, like, you turn that hippity hop off, it's negative. But I see what they're saying. It's manifestation. What are we trying to say as a people? I think people, period, have lost a fight. What are we fighting for? This next generation, what are you fighting for? You know what I mean? It's like we fought for cultural inclusion, right? Our generation, we after our mothers and fathers, the 70s, actually people started coming together after the 60s. And by the 70s and the 80s and in the 90s, we was all sharing the same culture. Race wasn't even, because you had positive rap, you had some Public Enemy, you had just a bunch of who else? Sister Soldier and Latifah, and they were conscious. Tribe Called Quest, they was conscious rap. They were talking about the things that were messed up in our world, and how we all need to come together and fix it. And it was a celebration through the music that brought us all together. And, I just think that was a beautiful time in hip hop, and I would like to see more of that.
Let's talk about real quick about your career. Once again, we're joined by Marlon Wayans. He's going to be at the MGM Friday and Saturday. I know you had a spot in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, but I think one of my favorite was your first big one was Mo Money with your brother. But I told a friend of mine that you were coming on, and he said that he really gained a different level of respect, showing your diversity, showing your versatility in a very eerie and horror movie. There were Requiem
for a Dream.
Yes. Yeah. But he appreciated that. When you step out of the comfort zone of comedy, do you enjoy that more?
I enjoy it all. It's comedy is a lot harder for me than drama. Drama is just like, I don't have to think. All I got to do is be, and I can be vulnerable. I don't have to go, what's funny about this thing that hurts me? There's not that math, and I don't have to have that energy, like a make you laugh energy. Drama, I excel in drama because I went to performing arts high school. I'm more of a dramatic actor than I am a comedian. Comedian I was born into, but I really didn't start comedy, stand-up comedy. I'll be at the MGM Grand this weekend, Friday and Saturday at the MGM Theater. I didn't really start comedy until 15 years ago, right? So for me, I love drama. I love it all.
Anything that you haven't done that you want to do?
I would love to find a great superhero movie. No. I'd love to play Freddy Krueger. I'd love to play Richard Pryor. Yeah, I would love to reboot Jim Carrey's The Mask. Yeah, there's things I would love to do that I haven't done yet.
Superhero, though. No remake of Blank Man.
If I may do Blank Man, but make him really cool. That would be dope. That would be dope.
10.
Knocked it out the park.
But Damon would have to be the bad guy.
No, I'm killing Damon in the first scene for never being in any of my movies.
Damn. Marlon Wayans with Willie. Did you prep him on the, hey, what would you like to do? Because that was like bang, bang, bang. That was good.
He was fantastic.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, we spent that, and that's a portion of it, and I'm going to flesh that out and write a full-length piece on Marlon Wayans, because he also touched about the fact that he's not a big sports fan. He's a hater. So so now guess what? He's an anti-Philadelphia 76er. He's going to be cheering against mental health. He sees 2 therapists a week. Very big on mental health. So very impressed with the interview. Very thankful that he sat down. I'll be writing something for
10.
A Spotlight. We do it every day at 4:35. That is on the way. And then the voice of baseball in Vegas, Matt Neverett, in 15.
Luxury has never been more rewarding during the Lincoln Summer Sales Event at Finley Lincoln. For a limited time, enjoy 0% APR financing for up to 48 months, plus up to $1,000 Lincoln bonus cash on select new 2026 Lincoln vehicles. And every new Lincoln includes a complimentary maintenance plan for 2 years. Discover sophisticated design, effortless performance, and exceptional value only at Finley Lincoln in Henderson. Visit FinleyLincoln.com. Expect luxury, embrace affordability. Finley Lincoln, elevating your drive.
Car won't start, dog needs meds, and you still haven't made a will? Life happens, and Radiant Start Checking helps you handle it. 24/7 roadside assistance, pet care savings, and virtual vet access. Even tools to create legal documents like wills and powers of attorney. All included for $7 a month. Radiant Start Checking from Weststar Credit Union. Visit weststar.org/RadiantStart to learn more. Radiant Start Checking has a $7 monthly benefits fee. Activation required. Terms and conditions apply. Share savings with a minimum balance and membership eligibility is required to become a member. Insured by NCUA.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Pay testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I
need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Lerner and Rowe today and let's make them pay. 877-1500.
Ready to go. Call 877-1500. 877-1500.
Randy Westbrook, managing attorney.
Hey, dude, your face is telling me that you broke up with your girl again.
Yeah, it's over.
I actually liked her.
Forget her. Plus, I bought her this expensive gold necklace, and now I'm just stuck with it.
What do you mean stuck? Gold is like 5 times more valuable than a year ago. Just take it to Michael E. Min & Jewelers in the Fashion Show Mall. He'll turn your heartbreak into a profit.
Michael E. Min & Jewelers at the Fashion Show Mall?
Yeah. Free parking, easy for locals to get to, and the best deals on the jewelry you're looking for. Michael E. Minden, the Diamond Jewelers.
Hey, Las Vegas, are you tired of plumbing prices that break the bank? At 365 Plumbing, we're bringing fair pricing back. Family owned and operated, we treat your home like it's our own. For your everyday plumbing needs, we're here 365 days a year, rain or shine, day or night. Extend the life of your water heater right now. For a limited time, take advantage.
10.
Only $26. Visit us at 365plumbingnv.com. 365 Plumbing, because where the water flows, 365 Plumbing goes.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
Well, damn, with our A Spotlight kicking off the second half here, Willie, I want to talk about every new series and say, hey, this is a really important series, but I'm not sure what's important the rest of the way. You want to get the ship righted, get the young guys playing good baseball, feeling better about themselves, but the season kind of fell apart recently, and now the problem is, in the American League, you got a good number of teams that are hot as a pistol. Meanwhile, the A's are struggling. They're beat to hell. They're heading in the wrong direction. They've won now. I mean, overall, the streak is crazy, but they've dropped 17 of their last 20. Minnesota's kind of streaking in a good direction. They're up to 51 and 53, and we'll see what they do on the road here. But tonight's matchup, I mean, one of the guys, it would be nice if Jacob Lopez became a reliable starter. He was really good in the second half last year, but this year, man, he has not been able to put it together. He's coming into the game with a 6.64 ERA, and the Twins aren't a great team, and yet they're minus 145 in this one.
Yeah, and the problem with a lot of these pitchers like this, he's 4-1 away from Sacramento, but he's got a 5.88 ERA on the road. The thing about tonight is it's one of those games where the Athletics, if they can take advantage of the opportunity they'll have at the plate, it could build momentum for the weekend. I know Minnesota, has been a lot better than the Athletics, winning 12 of its last 20, and it's hungry for an AL wild card spot. But they're going with Zebby Matthews tonight. He comes in 4-7, 5.40 ERA in 12 starts, but in July he's 0-2 with a 10.54 ERA. 3 of the last 4 meetings between these two teams have gone over. I actually think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So it's a matter of whether the Athletics come to hit the sticks.
Rest of the series is, again, the A's are sitting at 43 and 59 now. Mason Barnett is now going to get a chance to start. I don't know if that's the right casting for him. He's another guy like Perkins who throws extremely well, extremely hard. So we'll see. What do you got there? You got some gummies? What's going on?
Nothing.
Okay.
Don't you worry about it.
We can hear it. The Twins are going to throw another young guy out there, and then the Twins close out the Sunday game with Joe Ryan, who's awesome. His record is very deceiving. He's been pretty consistent this year at 6-6 but his ERA is 3.38. He's got whatever it is, 125 plus strikeouts. So Twins are favored in every single game, minus 135 tomorrow, and then big favorite with Joe Ryan on the mound at minus 190. That is worth watching. I don't know that Joe Ryan will be traded, but he's probably in that next class, Willie, behind Tarek Skubal. If some of the really big targets are not available or become too cost prohibitive, Joe Ryan is going to be a guy that people are interested in, who can be gotten for a decent price. You're still going to have to trade something pretty good for him.
Yeah, but does Joe Ryan is he on the same trajectory as Skubal? I think Skubal is still sort of going up, where I don't know if Ryan's plateaued or going down.
I think Ryan's still going up, but he's just not as good as Skubal. The other thing is Ryan has actually been more durable. That's why Tarek Skubal is really interesting, because he could get traded somewhere and they could coax him into signing long-term before he hits the market. Obviously, they're going to have to give him big money. I don't know that I totally trust him on, say, what would be probably, a 6-year deal? I don't know if my philosophy as any organization, unless I'm one of the 6 or 7 that can really legitimately afford a $250 million payroll, if I want to commit $180 to $250 million on any pitcher, because I assume at some point in the middle of the contract that they're going to have some arm issues. Which is a terrible assumption, but that's the way it goes now. I mean, guys throw so freaking hard, they throw max effort, that it's hard to get 6 straight years of 35 starts a year.
Yeah. Do you find it interesting? Well, I don't know. How long has it been now since? I think, it seemed like it was a lot normal. How long ago where there were more complete games? I just don't hear or see as many complete games anymore.
No one's going to throw complete games because the whole game is set up now for throw your 6 effective. Then we've got an awesome bullpen. You're going to get left, right. You're going to get most of the guys throwing 95 to 100. It's actually kind of counterproductive for even the best pitchers to be out there throwing a third or even fourth time through the lineup. Coming up, Matt Neverett, voice of baseball here in Las Vegas. A lot more on the AL picture and the trade deadline.
This summer, skip the airport chaos and hit the road for the perfect family getaway in Cedar City. In just 3 hours, you'll trade the desert heat for cool mountain air, breathtaking scenery, and outdoor adventure everyone will love. From hiking and biking to fishing and stargazing, Cedar City delivers big fun without the big price tag. Ride the chairlift at Bryan Head Resort, catch a show at the Utah Shakespeare Festival, and explore nearby national parks. Start planning your summer escape today at visitcedarcity.com.
Summer can be messy, but lunch doesn't have to be. Let Port of Subs Catering handle the food so you can enjoy the fun.
Sliced fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Nothing I hate in the car business more than a bunch of damn liars. That's why I created GiveMeTheVIN.com. Go to Give Me the VIN, put in your license plate number, we'll buy your car. We do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it without a bunch of games. We come to you with a check or pay off your payoff. Look at what people have had to say about GiveMeTheVIN.com. It's real. It's here. We're the Amazon now of car buyers, and we want to buy yours.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Gas costs more, groceries cost more, insurance costs more. So when's the last time something actually got cheaper? Well, for a limited time, Meineke is offering a synthetic blend oil change for just $24.95. One of the best deals you'll find anywhere. Performed by trained, certified technicians and backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty. But don't wait. Schedule today at Meineke.com. Meineke, doing car care right.
I'm Xenophon Peters, founding partner at Panda Law.
And I'm Judah Zakalik, the other founding partner. Here at Panda, we're proud to be voted Nevada's best debt relief law firm.
You probably know that Panda Law has helped countless clients get out of debt without bankruptcy.
But did you know that some of our most dramatic, life-changing results come when clients have more than $50,000 in debt?
If you're ready to explore your options and free yourself from overwhelming debt, call Panda Law today.
Call Panda Law, 702-818-3888.
There's plenty of reasons to go to Vegas. The Strip, the stadium, the football games, high-speed races, the biggest names, neon lights, the biggest fights, bull riding, and endless nights. Custom jerseys, stolen bases, colored wigs, and painted faces. There's something to fan for from dusk till dawn, and the list goes on and on and on and on. We don't know what brings you here, but we do know this. When you go to Vegas, whatever you go for, go all out. Head to visitlasvegas.com to learn more.
Don't miss the William Hill Radio Show, hosted by Paul Howard. Now live every Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. at the William Hill Sportsbook inside Palms Casino Resort. He'll break down all the latest betting action, including the odds, matchups, and who bettors are backing the most. After the William Hill Radio Show, make the William Hill Sportsbook at Palms Casino Resort your home for betting with live, continuous in-game wagering. Don't miss the William Hill Radio Show every Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. Must be 21. Gambling problem?
All righty. We have Mr. Neverett.
Again, on June 14th, Betty hit 4 4s, clearing her Gambler's Bonus 4-of-a-kind bingo card for over $11,000. Betty hit big, and so can you with Gambler's Bonus. It's why you play the game.
Summer can be messy, but lunch doesn't have to be. Let Port of Subs Catering handle the food so you can enjoy the fun.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
The Rebel football season will kick off again in week 0 as the Rebels will host the Memphis Tigers of the American Conference
10 seconds.
at Allegiant Stadium. We'll have all your Rebel football games on ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM. It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
All right, let's continue on the baseball weekend, the week that was in baseball. Obviously, the All-Star break just passed. Second half is here. Matt Neverett, voice of baseball in Vegas, voice of the Aviators, voice of UNLV baseball, voice of Rebel football and men's basketball. He's up with Willie and Cofield on ESPN Vegas and ESPN Reno. Matt, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? Good to be back with you guys after a week off.
Yes. So I want to get to the A's. I want to get to the AL West in a couple of minutes. But one of our themes today, because I'm doing some traveling, I'm back in the New Jersey area. And believe it or not, one of the things I really miss here is a very old school, I'm not going to call it skunky beer, but very old school beer, my Schaefer beer. And, you know, you're a little younger than us, but, you know, you can trend older. You have a lot of stories. I know, you know, we have connections with your dad. You travel a lot. Matt, is there an old school beer that maybe isn't around anymore, or one that still exists that if you get to certain regions of the country, you're like, I'm in, I love this?
Well, you know it, especially when we go back out east. It's definitely around out east, but not as much out here. Yuengling, it doesn't get any older than that. It's America's oldest brewery. Love Yuengling. When we go out on the East Coast in the Pittsburgh area, I'm a big fan of Rolling Rock as far as, you know, cheap beers go. But those are a couple. Iron City and Iron City Light, some of the Pittsburgh brews that I miss from my high school days. Now that the statute of limitations has passed on that, right?
Nice. Icy Light. Why not? Right? Why not?
It's pronounced Orange City if you're out there.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I forgot the Pittsburgh accent. All right, well,
Yeah,
I really don't want to hit on this topic because, one, he's one of my guys from Rutgers. Two, no one likes to talk about the nether region and guys and injuries. Come on. Injury gods, will you cut it out? Joshua Kuroda Grauer with I'm just going to leave it at the injured groin. If you want to go into details, you can. First of all, I assume he's going to be okay. This sounds to me like it would be like a 5-year injury. Come on.
Yeah, if it were a mere mortal, right? I think the most impressive part was, you know, not that he got back up and stayed in the game, but that he got a base hit in that at bat and then played a half inning of defense before being lifted from the game. And yeah, you got to be sensitive, not only how you treat it, but how you talk about it on the air. I think during our Aviators broadcast the next night, I described the injury as a upper leg injury, trying to be as sensitive as possible and trying to be back on the air the next day. So I was, you know, very, very generic as to how I described the region where he got hit, but yeah, kind of do your own research. But yeah, he couldn't have happened to a better guy too, and a guy that was off to his hottest start as you can imagine. 25 hits in his first 16 big league games. He was the first athletic since a guy named Ty Cobb was able to do that back in the day. So he was off to a blazing hot start. And, you know, kind of tongue in cheek, we were asking ourselves, is this an injury that you rehab? How do you rehab? You know, you don't want to think too much about the details and the semantics, but we'll probably, if I had to guess, see Joshua Kuroda Grauer here back in AAA for a brief rehab assignment. And, you know, as far as the injuries to the A's, it had been a ton of pitching this year that had gone down, including JT Ginn, who was just placed on the injured list the other day. But the position players had stayed pretty healthy. That was before this one, of course. So we'll see. The A's continue to slide. And, yeah, it's been a rough go of things since the last time I was on the show over the last 2 weeks for them.
You know, it's funny going back to the very beginning of the season. We had done some convos on Sin City Sports Beat over at Triple SEN, and we were asked as a panel, like, "Hey, who's the guy? Who's the prospect that you're looking for? Who's the the A's future star?" And I, for S's and giggles, because I have the connection to New Jersey with JKG, I was like, "Hey, watch for him." I never imagined that he would race through AA to AAA and then to the majors. And when he hits the majors, like you said, he's got 25 hits. He's hitting over 400. They got him. They're rolling him out there on like the 5 hole. What do they say in the organization about this guy? Because he wound up being a relatively high draft pick in 2024. But did they think he could accelerate this quickly through the system and be this type of player? Like, What's the end game for him? What do you think realistic projections are for a guy who I think was considered behind a lot of their infield prospects, but now he's right up there with some of the best?
Absolutely. And I mean, he rocketed through the system, I think a lot faster than a lot of people had thought, probably himself even included. He had a pretty good 3-season stretch at Rutgers where he batted over 340. So on paper, he had produced everywhere he went, but, undersized, Big Ten baseball player, that middle infield really deep. And, they've been bouncing guys out of that middle infield. Zach Geloff moved to the outfield. We saw Tyler Soderstrom playing at first base a little bit before moving out to left field entirely. And then when they signed Jeff McNeil this past offseason, I thought it kind of put a stopgap on a position where they really had a lot of guys flying through the system, JKG included. So the A's for a long time, they were crowded at catcher with Jonah Heim and Sean Murphy and Shea Langoliers. All of a sudden, they may be without any of those three after this trade deadline. I think they're really deep in the middle infield. We've already seen Brett Harris, who was DFA traded to the Red Sox. I think we could see like a Max Muncy or a Daryl Hernandez perhaps move, two guys that have been back and forth between AAA and the big leagues for quite a while. I think that those two guys could be potentially moved, and it might be what's best for them. And all of a sudden, a position that they've got a wealth of bodies in the middle of the infield.
Matt Everett, Voice of Baseball here in Las Vegas. We continually talk about the AL West, and no one's pulling away. Who looks like a legit team? We're now at the 102, 103, 104 game mark, and the beat the hell Rangers have somehow stayed around 500. They are in first place. The M's finally started winning some games, finally got some production from the big dumper. The team I said about a month ago, the Astros, have gotten back into it. Is a lot of this division, because I'm thinking of different injuries, because all three teams do have guys who are coming back who haven't really excelled. Could the trade deadline make the difference? But that said, do you see the Rangers, the Mariners, or the Astros getting hyper aggressive to go, you know what? We can win this division, we can pull away, and we can go to the World Series?
And it's interesting you asked that, because I think regardless of division, I think those are three teams that may be in as good a spot as any at the trade deadline in terms of not necessarily having to add a bunch of pieces. I mean, for a lot of those guys, especially the Astros and the Mariners, it's been just, attrition, a bunch of injuries this year that's led to the slow start, and now they're really picking it up. And look, you want to be hot going into the playoffs. You want to be hot at the right time of the year. We're getting to that time of year. So I don't think all three of those teams are going to remain dormant at the deadline, but I think that those are three of the teams in the major leagues where they probably are as close as where they'll be at the end of the year right now, just in terms of the pieces and the production that they've got. Yordan Alvarez, I think the American League MVP for sure. It's going to be interesting to see now. I think that the Mariners are probably the most aggressive of those teams traditionally, but I would guess if any of those three do add more than the others, I would say the Astros, just totally guessing. And because their batting is so far ahead of their pitching, I think that they're a team that could add a couple of arms at the deadline and really make a big difference in what's going to be a tight race at the end.
Yeah, I think the Astros also owe it to the players on the team. They owe it to a guy like Yordan Alvarez, who is healthy, who is on his way to like 50 and 130. You want to take advantage of that. And Willie and I were talking 10 minutes ago about Tarek Skubal being on the market potentially. You're going to have to give up a lot. The other thing is you probably want to, if you bring him in, you don't want him to just be a rental. So you're going to have, one, have the organization philosophy that you're cool with signing a pitcher to a 5 or 6 year deal and something like $200 million. Would you eliminate? I guess the Mariners probably wouldn't be in the mix because they have so much pitching. Could you see the Astros stepping up, or the Rangers, and going, you know what? Not only will we trade a boatload for him, but we want to have him long term, and we are going to commit to a guy for 5 or 6 years for big money?
I think you're going to have to. It's going to be one way or another with the impending work stoppage, more than likely delaying things or canceling them entirely next year. I think we're going to see a lot of guys, either one extreme or the other. They're going to be rentals. They know that they're a hired gun to come in there for 2 or 3 months and help them make a playoff push and perform come postseason time. Or it's going to be some guys that are signed for 3 to 5 to 6 years. I don't think there's going to be a lot of intermediate, because next year could be a wash. We'll see how that's litigated when all is said and done. But we could do a whole show, Steve, you and me, about what we think is going to happen next year one way or another. I think with that in mind, we've seen teams make some dealings and some contract signings already trying to get ahead of that, and I don't think we see anything change at the deadline.
Who could be the most aggressive buyer in the American League? Because clearly with the Yankees, not fading, but without Judge, they've fallen back to the pack. Biggest buyer, I mean, the Red Sox have come from out of nowhere. I know you annihilated their management a year ago. Could they be a big buyer? Could it be the Yankees? I mean, the Rays have been mentioned for Skubal, which I think would be a rent-a-player deal. Or is there someone else? Like, who's going to be the most aggressive?
No, I mean, I think Boston has the potential to, especially with the recent historic winning streak. really take advantage of that and completely swing the public opinion. I mean, look, a month ago, they were chanting "sell the team" and, beckoning to get rid of everybody in Boston. But now they couldn't be any happier. So I think that definitely is a possibility. I think the Red Sox could be as aggressive as anybody. I don't think the Rays are going to be doing that much because they are a really solid team always in the regular season. I don't think that they're that far away from maybe just getting over that playoff hump and win a series or two. And the Yankees have been who they've been over the last couple of years. So I don't think we're going to see that change. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the Red Sox could be as aggressive or more aggressive than anybody come the deadline in the American League.
Matt is the voice of UNLV football, and UNLV football camp starts up next week. We get media access to the new guys there, the guys who came in the spring, the veterans who are returning. Caleb Herring was thrown this question early in the week by the folks who are doing the show, Willie and Jeff, and I want your answer. What's the biggest question mark for Dan Mullen? We talk about the players all the time and the transfer portal and the returnees. What's the biggest question that Dan Mullen has to answer / solve?
I think the communication on the defensive side of the ball, because as we saw at firsthand, Steve, that was the biggest problem for them on the games that they lost. Even a lot of the games that they won, that was the big problem, was communication and those minute changes that happen once the ball is snapped. And, the leadership, it's there. The communication was not. And I think with Scheer being brought back in, I think with Paul Gunther actually taking over as the, on paper DC, I think that's going to help shore a lot of those issues up. And really that communication is going to be the big deal. I think a lot of the bodies that they retained, I'm thinking of Jake Pope, I'm thinking of Trey Fulton, I'm thinking of Lucas Conte. I think those are going to be a big deal in terms of the continuity. And there's going to be some guys that I think were here last year that step it up. I think we get a big year out of Denver Harris. Blessing Oluwalu Tuiolomotu, the unsung hero and really the unsung communicator as the middle linebacker on that defense. I think he's due for a big year. So I think that's the big thing for me is just how the defense looks, especially we're going to know week 0 right off the bat against Memphis, because that's something that you either have or you don't at the beginning of the year.
Matt Nevers with us on ESPN Reno, ESPN Las Vegas here on this Friday. One follow-up on that, and it's sort of related to what your answer was. Caleb Herring answered the biggest question for Mullen is he's got to solve the discipline issues. And that doesn't mean issues off the field. It means on the field. Now, communication is one thing, but there were points in the season, Matt, the jumping off sides, the lining up incorrectly was completely out of control. And, I'm working the sidelines. I rarely see, and I'm a little further back, so Mullen has some, when he's right next to the field, I can't always see him. But I rarely see Mullen come back to the bench and freaking explode. That's when he exploded. When there was, personal foul issues, lining up issues, jumping. But, in the end, this is partially a new group of players. It is on the coach and the coaching staff to get that stuff cleaned up because they're not going. I mean, I can't say it's an impossibility because they did it, but they're going to have a hard time winning a share of the Mountain West Conference and to get into the title game if they're picking up as many penalties as they did a year ago.
Absolutely. And I mean, there was some games where they should have won by 3 or 4 touchdowns that they would win by a point and, pull it out at the end. And, there were some games that they should have won that they lost. I'm thinking of a couple at home, but I think that is a really, really good point because that was something that, like I said, turned a big win into a tight one and wins into losses. I think the communication side of things is more of a personnel thing. And I do agree with you that the coaching is going to be the bigger deal when it comes to the discipline. Hey, at least they're not having to worry about off the field issues, right? At least when you talk about discipline, it's on field. That can be corrected a little bit easier than the alternative. At least we don't have whatever Georgia's got going on down there, speed race or go-go.
All right. Matt, literally 15 seconds. Give us a quick preview of the Aviators rest of the weekend.
Yeah, Harry Potter weekend, hat giveaway tonight, jersey giveaway tomorrow. You get a random bag, so you don't know what you got until you get inside. 7 o'clock first pitch tonight, and tomorrow, 6:05, the series finale on Sunday.
There he is, one of the best storytellers in all of broadcasting, but we're going to top him with Mr. Random Reference, Paul Gutierrez. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate the time. Paul's coming up next,
man.
Raiders Insider, Las Vegas legend.
Plumbers, HVAC techs, contractors, and DIYers. McFadden-Dale Industrial Hardware has the tools, parts, and supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden-Dale Industrial Hardware. Fast, easy, and built for the pros. Hey, Aviators fans, get to the ballpark as it's Harry Potter weekend, and the El Paso Chihuahuas, the Padres affiliate, are battling your Aviators. Thursday, come cool off with $2 beer night. Friday and Saturday, it's the Harry Potter Weekend Extravaganza. There's cap and jersey giveaways for the first 2,000 fans. Don't miss this. And Sunday, catch the series finale and enjoy the family fun all evening. There's free parking, great food, good times, and it's all affordable. Aviators Baseball. Life's just better at Las Vegas Ballpark.
Beat the heat with some cool cash for betting sports on the William Hill mobile app. With the William Hill Cash Rewards program, you can earn up to $500 in cash. Earn summer rewards points for mobile wagers made until August 31st. Win or lose. You can earn even more rewards points for teasers, parlays, and same-game parlays. Sign up for the William Hill mobile app today and opt in to enroll in summer rewards. To see participating locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 877-1500.
877-1500. 877-1500.
Randy Westbrook, managing attorney.
Summer can be messy, but lunch doesn't have to be. Let Port of Subs Catering handle the food so you can enjoy the fun.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
10 seconds.
To UNLV Sports right here on ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM, KWWN, Las Vegas. It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Partying.
Yeah, all right, here we go. Friday, final hour of the week. Remember, football season right around the corner, so this will not be the final hour of the week. I anticipate that we'll be doing some of our weekend football shows again, both college and pro football preview. We'll get you details on that sometime in August, but we are rocking and rolling. UNLV football opener is a little over 3 weeks away. Camp opens up next week. Runner Rebel stories are in the news. Some angles are in the news. I saw a viral video that I'll tell a story about in a couple of minutes. Willie Cofield, it's ESPN Las Vegas here on this Friday. James is steering the ship and running the show. We're going to talk to Paul Gutierrez. You guys give me the thumbs up when he's good to go. Paul's got a very good story about the Runner Rebels, which we'll get to in about 15 minutes. Let's bring in the man with the plan. He's a Raiders insider. He's a UNLV guy. He covered the A's, so he's got a wealth of knowledge on a bunch of the topics we want to hit today. What's going on, Paul?
And if I don't have the knowledge, I'll make you think that I do, and I'll just kind of roll that way with it. So how you guys doing? What's happening? Friday.
Willie?
That's how I've gotten by for the last 39 years.
Yeah. Fake it until you make it, right? Why not?
Fake it till you make it. Exactly. What's going on, fellas?
You know, it's funny. You don't know this, and I'm not even sure the audience knows this. We just talked to Matt and Everett. They know that. Matt and Everett is he's awesome. He's doing all this different announcing. Matt is the youngest guy I know who's got a story for anything you ever mention. Now, I'm not saying you're the oldest guy I know who can do that, but you're an older guy. You had a reference last night. I was going back and forth with you on a couple of texts getting ready for today's show, and I mentioned that I was back in New Jersey, and I'm actually in South Jersey, and immediately what popped into your head? A South Jersey memory.
Yes. Yeah, so it was my first summer after graduating from UNLV. I was working at Sports Illustrated in New York City, and two buddies from Vegas, from UNLV, that Willie knows very well, Jay Sapovitz, who was working at WIP in Philly at the time, and Chris Jones came out to visit, so we took the train back to Jay's spot because he was from Philadelphia, and we went to South Camden. We went to the Pavilion, which I had to look up, is now called, the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, and we saw the Cranberries. And Toad the Wet Sprocket opened for them. And if it gets any more random than that, it's probably the time when Chris and I and Mario Diaz, another name that Vegas people will know, hung out with Gerardo at the Shark Club, which Willie definitely knows.
Willie knows that one. Willie knows that one. And then if you really want to pull back the curtain, because I'm a weirdo on social media and I'm fed cat videos all the time, I then sent you some guy screaming the Cranberries' like biggest hit song as he's holding his cat and getting attacked. I'm like, look at this. The internet gods are listening or watching our text. Go figure.
Or they're listening, or they're listening to you talk, and Google is just feeding you what it thinks you want. And that's the funny thing. You got to remember who your audience is, and no matter which room you're in or whatever it is. So there's always a story, and there's always a fine line, right, about having a story for any situation and trying to come across looking like a one-upper. I just like to tell good stories, and Willie will tell you that.
I love the one-upper angle. You're right, but that's by the way, that's a good reminder that I'm like, I wonder how that happened. You're like, the phone's listening, moron. They can, they like whoever they is. So one other, because I had to give you a random reference, because I'm a big fan of wrestling from like the late 70s and the 80s, and I love the old school guys. And I stumbled upon a weird video, and these are the kind of events I could see Paul being at over the years with, especially the Raiders. I found what's Matt Barnes? What's his podcast? Is it
Up in Smoke? All the smoke,
right?
All the smoke.
They're sitting down with Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes starts talking about his dad, Dusty. And Dusty Rhodes was one of my favorites. Like going back to, I lived in Florida for a little while and watching NWA wrestling and Gordon Soley and Dusty. I once a year, and I probably need to do it like right now again. Once a year, I like to watch Dusty Rhodes and his hard time speech. It was like one of the greatest speeches ever and still works in every era. But he started talking about his dad, Dusty Rhodes, and how much he loved playing basketball. And then they had a video, Paul, of like some wrestling celebrity game, and Lex Luger's out there, and Dusty Rhodes is going like 500 miles an hour, just annihilating people.
Yeah, he had handles. He could shoot it from outside. He was finishing, and I think Cody actually told the guys, it was like a charity game, but he told them as he was the head booker for the NWA at the time, if we lose this game, you guys are fired. He was talking to Sting and Lex Luger, two of the biggest names in the organization. And sticking to the wrestling angle, I got next week on the podcast here with the Raiders, Kieran Crawford, the rookie defensive end. His grandpa was the Snowman from the old Mid-South region who used to have a huge feud with Jerry the King of Lawler. So I don't know if you're that deep into wrestling, but that was the guy. So we talk about that a little bit too. But yeah, again, just the more random, the more fun. And it's good to talk to guys like you that appreciate it, because I can't talk about this with my wife. She doesn't care about random stuff. I can't talk about this with my kids. They could care.
I'm wondering.
So thanks for having me on.
I'm wondering what would have happened if Dusty Rhodes on the basketball court against, who was a tremendous basketball. He actually played in college before he came to Vegas, was an entertainment director at the Riviera, which was before he became an actor, Steve Sharippa.
Oh,
a lot of people don't know.
By the way, can I jump in for a second?
Yeah.
Was Sharippa ever like real thin, or has he always kind of been a big fella?
No, I think he's been a big guy, but I don't think he was heavy. I think he was
big.
Yeah, like strapping.
Because let me tell you, Willie,
he was big boned. Big boned.
And Paul heard this too. Cody Rhodes was being respectful of his dad, and he finally slipped, but he kept calling his dad he was really athletic for a robust guy, and I'm like, Cody, he was fat. Like he's a former college football player, and he put on a lot of weight, but like he had man boobs and a big gut, and he wore the the little banana hammock. But I did appreciate that he was like, hey, for a big guy, he was extremely athletic, and he actually did look it. Okay, I'm gonna make there's no segue for this one. I wish I had a smooth one, but the Raiders rookies are in, so I want to talk about some of the rookie angles. Are you working on something with Mendoza? Because you sent me a quick snapshot of you, and I think Mendoza, was that today or yesterday?
That was today. So 24 hours after signing his contract, he jumped in the podcast studio with me, and we talked for about 10, 12 minutes, just kind of what his mindset is now after that 6-week break and getting ready to jump into this quarterback competition. And the podcast is live now on YouTube. I tweeted it out. And it's cool just to sit with him. I've talked with him in the past, but we're never in a formal interview setting. So he's really just kind of a genuine guy. And he talked about the competition factor that's going on here is, a lot of people will say, well, is he going to be the starter? Is he not? Is it somebody else's job? And he said, look, in that quarterback room, they're all actually actively rooting for each other, and that they're competing with each other, not against each other, which is a very, you can kind of parse that any way you want. But I thought it was real interesting that was the way he talked about it. He also talked a little bit about meeting his lifelong hero, Tom Brady, who is now kind of one of his bosses, and how surreal that whole thing is, and how when he looks at him, he's like, God, this is the guy I looked up to. I can't look at him with googly eyes. He's a human being. He wants to be treated as such. And he said, at the end of the day, Fernando told me he has all these opportunities and all these resources in the palm of his hand. Now it's just up to him to take advantage of all of it. So that's up on Raiders.com right now as well.
Speaking with Paul Gutierrez of Raiders.com, we better know him as El Jefe, Paul. You know, I had an interesting question posed to me today. I was sitting in with Vinny B on JT's show before this show, and Vinny asked me, he said, can you define real? Can you define ready? We keep hearing this, well, let's just wait till he's ready. He can never really be ready. We can never see ready because you spent 6-7 weeks against your teammates at Raiders facility. Ready means getting into a game, whether that means coming in relief, let's say when a game's out of hand, starting a game where maybe you're the favored and there's a chance there. What is your definition of ready, and when should Fernando Mendoza or when should Kubiak decide this is the time to get him ready?
Well, there's been a lot of tea leaves to be read this offseason, Willie, and a lot of pieces of the puzzle have been laid out there. And with Clint Kubiak, he said that a week before they signed Kirk Cousins, 3 weeks before they drafted Fernando Mendoza, that in a perfect world, a rookie does not start on day one. And he sits and he learns at the knee of a veteran who's gone through the wars and done this, that, and the other. It's like, oh, wow, that's exactly what he's talking about here. What does ready mean? I don't know if there's actually a box to check or if there's something that kind of fills up and tells you. You just kind of know, and it's in your gut. And to me, and, as I know we were talking a lot last summer, you were referring to us as the aging Bulls, Steve. So we've all been around long enough to remember this. The last number 1 overall draft pick quarterback to sit out and redshirt his entire rookie season was Carson Palmer in 2003. And to me, I'm like, yeah, that's nothing, whatever. That's Carson Palmer. And then you remind yourself, no, that was 2+ decades ago, and the league has changed and the world has changed. So what does ready mean? It's very subjective. And it's not just that one person. It's everything else around him to protect him, to get him ready for the best success. And really, Kirk Morrison put it best, I thought, when he said, if the season starts off and if he is not the number 1 quarterback, it actually makes sense to make him number 3. Because if you're the backup, you're one snap away from going in. And when you go in, when you're the rookie quarterback and you go in and you're the franchise guy, you're not coming back out. So the minute that Fernando goes in, he's not coming back out. That's what it means to be ready. And I know I talked a lot and didn't really answer your question, Willie, but I guess I wasn't really ready for your question either. So there you go.
So you weren't ready. Okay. Who's under more pressure, Kubiak or Mendoza?
I don't think there's really. I think they're both playing with house money at this point, because you got a rookie coach who's been, he's never been a head coach at any level, and you got a rookie quarterback. From the fan perspective, I would believe if pressure is the right word, it's probably Fernando, because the fans want to see him out there. He's got the resume of the number 1 overall draft pick, the Heisman Trophy winner, the hopes and prayers of a watchful Raider Nation wanting him to get out there and do it. I don't know if that's necessarily pressure, if that's stress, or if that's eustress. And if I'm remembering my Barstow College and UNLV education right, eustress is actually a positive thing.
Yeah, those Barstow days over at Ruby's, we don't want to bring that up. Now, listen, with Mendoza in his poise and what he did at Indiana, when you think about 3 years at Cal, then he goes to Indiana and in the Big Ten, right, in a conference where the conversation was really about Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and here comes Indiana, undefeated, and this guy just does it. How have you seen, or when you talk to him, your years of experience in covering this team, how is he different in being, prepared for the moment when he is expected to be ready? How have you seen that translate? What's he bringing with him that's impressive to you?
There's something that's very genuine about him that I mentioned earlier. And the thing that I noticed throughout the offseason program, whether it was mandatory minicamp, rookie minicamp, OTAs, the Raiders were being very deliberate in the way they were bringing him along. And remember, there's that whole storyline of, well, he has to learn how to take the snap from under center because he didn't do that much in college. that can be overblown a little bit as well. What makes him different is just he's coming with all these expectations, but there's also this kind of I don't want to say area around him, but it's also like, you know what, just take your time, get it. And in talking to Fernando today, I got that sense again that he realizes that early in the offseason program that he said he was being stressed by an overload of information, but positively stressed. So now when they get into training camp, they hit him again, they do the reinstall, they do all these other things that are coming. Like, oh, wait a minute, my body, my mind, everything has already gone through this once. I know how to deal with this now. And that should be every player on the roster, right? All 90 guys on this offseason roster should be doing that. But when you're playing the highest profile, most important position in all of team sports, that takes it up just another level or 3.
Speaking with Paul Gutierrez, joining us here on Cofield and Company with Cofield and Willie on a Friday, ESPN Las Vegas. Paul, you know this fan base better than anybody else. The fact that there's no pressure per se, they're playing with house money, and there's not a big expectation this first year. It's brand spanking new. I mean, Max is the guy that we've all been covering here in the mainstay, but for the most part, it's a fresh start all around. It's the first time we've seen this since they got to Vegas. Is the fan base ready to accept that, hey, you know what? Even if they get 5-6 wins this year, this is the year, it's okay.
There's still that fresh car smell, and every now and again you kind of get that whiff of, ooh, what's that, right? You know, did we hit a skunk? What is that? But to me, as long as there are tangible proofs of improvement over last year, a 5-win season, a 6-win season, I believe they'll be okay with that. Now, obviously, the ultimate goal is to win every time you take the field and improve 1% every time you do something. But like you said, it's got that new car smell, and if you keep going forward from there, the fan base has to be patient. And I know that's hard to ask a fan base that hasn't won a playoff game since before Fernando Mendoza was born. I looked that up today too. He was born in 2003, and they last won a playoff game in the AFC title game in January of 2003. So it's been a long time, and this fan base is deserving. It's in need. It's thirsty. It's hungry for all of it. The big key here, though, is to see that improvement, because as everybody always asks me about what is different about this team, and the message, they are all on the same page, and yet what feels different is that they're all pulling in the same direction.
You've covered the A's. You know the Bay Area. You know the passion. Now the A's are coming here. We hear today that Mark Cuban is buying a stake. How big is that?
You know, I don't know what that means because having covered those A's teams up there, the Moneyball A's teams, it would be one of those things where the fan base would always be like, okay, well, let's enjoy Nick Swisher for now because he's going to be gone. Let's enjoy Bobby Crosby for now because he's going to be gone. Houston Street, he's going to be gone. Jason Giambi, going to be gone. All those guys. So now that John Fisher is throwing the money and spending the money to keep these guys, you've seen the concerted effort for that to happen over the past year or two. Does Mark Cuban coming in mean that that's going to continue happening? I don't know, because they've already kind of set the stage that this is happening. So other than a little gravitas for Mark Cuban now having his name attached to the A's and making it a little bit more legit because he knows what it takes to build a team that can contend for a title, with the Mavericks, with what he did there. That really, to me, is the only thing. I don't know if his buying in really means anything else unless there's some sort of hostile corporate takeover where he takes over the whole thing, because the A's have shown over the past 2 years that they are willing to spend some money to keep their own homegrown talent.
Paul Gutierrez with us here on ESPN Las Vegas. All right, UNLV football starts up next week with fall camp. UNLV basketball is a very intriguing season on the way. Josh Pastner in year 2. There's got to be improvement. The schedule is going to get better. They actually lined up some crazy exhibition games because now you can play more exhibition games, and all 3 games are at home. They're playing Utah, BYU, and Missouri at the Thomas and Mack. I know you just wrote a story and you talked to Josh Pastner and you wrote a story about the program, and it has something to do with kind of a money ball approach.
Yeah, it's interesting because, we were just talking about the A's, and I had Josh come speak to my class at UNLV. I teach a sports reporting class at UNLV, and he spoke the last week of class to the students. And everything that he was saying about NIL and how to rebuild a roster. It just kind of struck me as this sounds like Moneyball. So I watched the movie again, and there's that great quote from Brad Pitt as Billy Beane, where he says, the problem we're trying to solve here is that there are rich teams and there are poor teams. Then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us. It's an unfair game. And I called Josh back. I'm like, hey, are you a Moneyball guy? He goes, absolutely. Love it. Love the message. Love this, that, and the other. And then I realized that Billy Beane actually came to UNLV and spoke right before the Mountain West tournament. So I just kind of cobbled this thing together that is the philosophy that Josh Pastner is taking to try to rebuild this roster in the NIL era, which is intriguing to me. And Willie would attest to this as well as guys from back in the 90s, early 90s, when NIL was not quote-unquote legal or really known. UNLV probably led the country in it, whatever it was. As Anderson Hunt told me, yeah, we called them boosters back in the day. Now, when it's legal, and UNLV's NIL is mid-major at best. So it's really strange. So you have all these forces that are at play here with Josh Pastner trying to get UNLV back to where it was. But back then, remember, UNLV was the only show in town, save for the occasional big fight or the AAA team, whether they were the Stars or the 51s at the time. Now you got the Raiders, you got the Aces, you got the Golden Knights, you got the A's on the way, you got the NBA coming. It's really a hard-fought battle, which is why Josh now is saying, hey, anybody that wants to buy an NBA team, you're talking billions and billions of dollars. Spend $10 million to come and own our team. Right. And to me, that's a whole new Moneyball era right there too.
I love that you're doing the story with him because, when you talk to him, and I don't know what he did in that class, but when he's on his coach's show, he basically has like an 8-minute opening diatribe, and we just sit there. And then I react to the opening diatribe. But he came on last week at the Summer League, and before I even got into a topic, like he was going to do his Moneyball thing, and he did it with me. And I listened, and I didn't really take it as like anything earth-shattering. We talked about Mike Rapoli and St. John's, and like that. Hey, if someone wanted to invest that kind of money in the program, and then today I see, how do you say Taylor's last name, Willie, the female reporter? Rocha. She had talked to him. He did the same thing with her, and then she put it out, and it was like going incredibly viral. On 3 had it. I'm like, well, he actually told us first, I think, and Paul. And I didn't put it out.
And he actually said it like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I think like I get kind of matter of fact. Sometimes if you hear Josh Pastner enough, you're like, well, he said this to a lot of people, but he really hadn't. And I hope he can sell. I hope he can sell someone on it. Let's say, like you said it 2 minutes ago, like this is the era of legal cheating. You can have basically investors in the program. I wanted to ask you, for both of you guys, first for Paul, because Paul was around at UNLV when, the teams were unbelievable and there was an important element on the team and there were local players. How important do you think it is to make sure that they have either a guy they get out of high school or a bounce back? Because this team in many ways is going to be built around Tyron Jones, and they love the fact that he's back. And remember, Sebastian Mack, after being at UCLA and Mizzou and, Durango, and was he at Coronado, he's back. How important do you think it is in terms of getting fans back into the building to make sure that you have a couple of local guys that they can really fall in love with and that they have a connection to?
Oh, yeah, you're forgetting DJ Thomas already? Yeah.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing.
Different but the same.
Here's the thing. I didn't mention DJ Thomas because I'm going to get in trouble with his dad. Because I always felt that DJ, and this isn't wrong. This is sort of, I'm going all over the place here. This is sort of what Jeff Choate talked about last year that got people worked up about Nevada football, where Choate was like, hey, come here, we'll develop you, and then you can go make $1.4 million at Oregon. Deion Sr. always laid it out that DJ was probably not going to be at UNLV. He was doing this as a maturation step. So I think it was important that DJ was here, but his experience was a little bit different.
And don't forget, he left early, so that's why. Remember, he left high school early, didn't he?
He graduated early. He was 17 years old playing as a freshman.
So in a sense, that was a stepping stone.
Yeah, and with him, it was the lineage, right? Because of his dad having been a point guard at UNLV, part of Tark's last team. I led the nation in assists, I believe, when J.R. Ryder was up there in scoring. So there was something there. My story is on hoopshq.com. Seth Davis, who I worked with at Sports Illustrated, it's his website, so he gave me the opportunity to write the story. But Willie's here longer than I am, obviously, so he knows all those guys. But every team like that, you've got somebody local on the team, right? When they were on those glory years, whether it was Freddie Banks, whether it was, even on the team that won in the next year, H. Waldman was there too. So it's important. But back then, Steve and Willie, back me up on this, there were only 10 to 12 high schools in Vegas. Now there's 127? I mean, how can you really? It would seem like you should be able to recruit that and mind that even more so now.
Yeah, there were 10 high schools, and I think the very first time that they finally got a local from the expansion, the first 4, was when Marcus Bakes transferred from Dixie.
From Dixie, yeah. And he initially, I remember writing the story for the RJ when I was on the beat in 98, 99, was what a big coup that was to get him, but then he had to go the JC route to get into UNLV. So it's just strange because, as the aging Bulls here or whatever, I remember when, Gucci Row was where you wanted to be. But if you don't have any connection to the school, and if you're new money into town, would you rather spend your money sitting on the 50-yard line at the Raiders, sitting center ice for the Knights, center court for the Aces, behind home plate for the A's, or sitting on Gucci Row for some Mountain West program that hasn't been to the NCAA tournament since 2013? Me, I want to sit on Gucci Row, but that's me because I'm crazy, and that's where my allegiances lie.
I mean, it is inviting because you can, and listen, Bill Paulus does an awesome job of funding a lot of the program, and the Boyd family contributes a lot of money. And I'm sure they'll welcome, another big baller in. I think it would be a cool opportunity to get the program back to the highest level. And like I said, Mike Rapoli's the guy at St. John's, and he was a St. John's dude. Got super rich with the energy drinks or whatever he has. Now he's in the horse game, and I'm sure Patino loves him because Patino's like, unlimited funding. It's kind of a crazy story. All right, stories of the day on Cofield and Company. One, I guess maybe I'm the only tried and true real LeBron backer. I don't know, in Sports Talk Radio. It seems like everyone else is annoyed by him all the time. What do you think? What do you think of LeBron going to Philly? I think this is like an unbelievable story. All worlds are colliding. He's now in this super intense market. He can be some nights the first option. Some nights he might play freaking center. Other nights he might be the point guard. He could be the fifth scorer. I mean, and in that market in the Northeast, the Celtics freaking handed. I mean, there's just so many cool things here. Up the Knicks, I can't stand the Knicks. This is great.
Yeah, and that's coming from a South Jersey guy like yourself, so I understand where you're coming from on that. but yeah, I mean, I grew up a child of the Showtime Lakers, so I remember the Sixers as always just getting beat up on by the Lakers in the 80 finals and the 82 finals. Not so fun in 83 when the Sixers swept them, but I kind of go back and forth with LeBron because I appreciate him, I respect what he's doing and everything. But I also remember watching Jordan play and being like, I wanted Jordan to lose. And I remember what happened with the Washington Wizards was like, okay, he finally lost, but it didn't feel that good. I like it because it keeps people talking, right? And the fact that he has this longevity to his career is just amazing. And yet I'll always be the person that's going to look elsewhere and go, Jordan or LeBron? You know what? Kareem's the greatest player of all time because it actually changed rules for him.
I would love, and I'm not saying you should do it, and I'm not even saying Hoops HQ is the right spot for it. I posed the question earlier to one of our Chicago guys, Sammy Paniatovich, and Sam's like, mid-30s, late 30s, so his take on Jordan's a little bit different. I get really tired of the Jordan LeBron comparisons, and I would really like someone to write an in-depth story of what was going on in Jordan's life at the end of his career when he did come back, and why he went to the Wizards, because back-to-back years, and I understand there were factors, like he started to get into ownership, and Doug Collins was there. Yeah. But I also think there were other things that might have been as important or more important to Jordan than basketball, and maybe he couldn't, kind of acquiesce to a system where he was going to be the second or third option. I would love to see someone write a story, but Jordan's like so untouchable. No one will do an investigative piece on. I think it's admirable that I spin it positively that LeBron may not be the biggest factor on the team, and he just wants to win. Like, why wasn't it important for Jordan to win with the Wizards? Because they stunk. They were a 500 team. Why not go to a really good team and win more rings? And that's not a knock against Jordan, but it's like whatever Jordan did, it's great or it's okay. Whatever LeBron does for a lot of people, it sucks. Whatever angle has to be negative, and I don't always get it.
Well, is LeBron going to go to the Sixers and be the second or third option, or in his mind, is he still the best player on the court? I mean, it's
here's
kind
the
of
thing, Paul. Paul, here's the thing. I think he got on the job training this year. He with Luka and then with Reeves.
Yeah.
I mean, Reeves is averaging 27 points a game. I actually think the Sixers benefit from the fact that LeBron didn't go out, acting like a jackass and ruining the team like he did back down a little bit. I mean, because there are guys who do that. I find it fascinating. So let me close on this one. One of our topics of the day. When I come back home, obviously I'm big into the eats. And by the way, technically I'm not from South Jersey. I'm in South Jersey. There is a central there is a central Jersey, which is a big argument in Jersey. But whenever when I come back, I have all these food items I want. But one of my favorite things when I come back is one of the old school beers, Schaefer beer, is available here. So I will buy some of that. Is there something from your past? Is there a beer that maybe your dad loved, your family loved, you loved when you were young that maybe isn't available or is only available in certain areas of California?
I haven't looked for it in a while, but it always takes me back to college because I was a teak at UNLV, and we used to drink Keystone Light. Keystone Light, we used to call it. Yeah. So that's just if I want to go to a bad place, I'll do that. Otherwise, the Zima count, because I was all about the Zima as well.
I thought you were going to say OE.
OE, yeah.
No, that's. I want to remember what happened the night before.
The 8-ball.
Yeah,
Sherman a bottle.
But the 8-ball.
I don't want to black out.
Yeah. By the way, we could have a conversation on a future show about your favorite 40s.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
King Cobra.
Well, here, speaking of which, though, speaking of favorite 40s, what's weird is Old English was the 40 of choice, but I would never get a Mickey's in a 40. I'd only want to drink them in the big mouth bottles. You could get Mickey's in a 40, but I wouldn't do that. It was almost like, you got to drink a Mickey's out of the big mouth, right?
Well, that was before. Yeah, you'd get the Mickey's in the big mouth, and then you go to Odyssey Records, and then your night was done. Good to go. Right. Get Egyptian Leather on a 12-inch.
On a Casingle. You get a Casingle. You get an OE. And if it wasn't a weekend, it was a weekday, then you were just grabbing the Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill and being done with it.
Now I got bad memories, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for bringing that up, Boone's.
If we're gonna bring up random stories with Paul is the king of the random stories and connections over us. I do have to bring up on the whole subject of the 40s. I think one of my favorite fights that I covered, and I have to go look up what fight it was a Don King fight where I think it might have been St. Ides or it was like Schlitz malt liquor, and Don King, that was the sponsor of the fight, and they had a cooler. They had a cooler in the post-fight press conference for the media to be grabbing 40s. I'm like, all right.
Were there more fights among the media then after the fight or in the ring?
Paul, if you ever covered boxing extensively, you know the answer. There were fights all the time, and I forget who I always bring it up to, but there was a fight with Ron Borges and Michael Katz.
Oh yeah,
where
I was there. They rolled right by me. They rolled literally right by me.
Yep. And
that's wasn't that when the neck brace started?
Yep. Katz was broken down.
Brace.
No, I think he already had the neck brace, but because he had a cane.
The neck brace came flying off.
Yep. But Katz picked up the cane and started going at Borges, who was a big boxing guy, Boston guy, a Patriots guy, and we're talking. The funny thing is, I thought they were so old. They're probably younger than I am now. But yeah, they were ready to go at it, and it got. But I don't know. I don't think it was because the bull came crashing through the wall or their hearts.
Well, there's those post game pressers. There's things like that. There's still sometimes we walk into a post game press conference or a post event press, and there's cases of beer. But Paul and I have been in a college football press box when out of nowhere, with the opening of a door and the entrance of one person, the waft of dank took over the press box.
All I know is my beat writer from the Rebel Yell School newspaper got banned. Mark Wallington kicked him out, never to be back covering UNLV football ever again. And speaking of old school wrestling references, Steve, you cannot tell me that Mark Wallington at one point was not Akeem the African Dream, formerly known as the One-Man Gang. Look it up. Look at the videos. It looks just like Wallington back in the day before he got all fit.
I was thinking Tugboat Thomas.
Ooh, Tugboat.
Who may have also been Akeem for all I know. It seemed like there was.
Well, Tugboat became Typhoon.
Okay.
And Akeem was One-Man Gang. So two different guys, but I hear what you're saying.
Akeem the Dream. Paul, What? By the way, we're still doing the show. This is like we're sitting in the media room
Hakeem the
after.
Dream. I remember when Heard 'Em
an event.
Bad here in town made a song called "Unbeatable," and it was about Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Look that up on YouTube. That's a song.
All right.
Unbeatable about
The Dream Shape.
Yeah.
Paul, I was trying to get you out on this note. One more time, promote the UNLV Moneyball story and where people can find it.
Yeah, the UNLV Moneyball story is on hoopshq.com. It requires you to get a subscription. I think you get a few free reads at first, though, but it's at hoopshq.com. And then my Fernando Mendoza podcast is up on YouTube as well as on Raiders.com. So
Paul,
that's where you can get that kind of stuff.
You are the best. Thanks for being available, and we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate you guys. Zima's on me next time I see both of you.
Yeah, everyone brings up the Zimas, man. Anyone who grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, they love the Zimas.
Remember those Zimas?
I don't remember them that much.
You don't remember Zimas?
I remember it, but the funny thing is I don't think I drank them a whole lot, but now I would love them. That's kind of my style. I'm in touch with them. I'm strong enough in my masculinity to admit that I could do a lot of Zimas.
Do you
now.
remember back in the day, Steve, when the option was getting beers, getting the OEs, or coolers had just come out, the Bartles and James.
Yeah.
There really wasn't much anything besides that.
I would do the wine coolers now too if they were around, more plentifully available or readily available, more plentiful. I would do it. All right, coming back for the audience that didn't hear much of the early part of the show, we were talking about LeBron. We asked some of the guests along the way some questions about Philly and where LeBron is going to blend in Philly, what's going to happen in the Eastern Conference. We'll get into more of LeBron early this morning, finally choosing a destination. He has landed in Philadelphia, and there's a lot of reaction to this. Is he ring chasing, or is he a guy who, hey, he just wants to win, he wants to be competitive, and he's willing to make, by the way, he's signed for 2 years and $8 million, which I also think is very admirable. So a little more LeBron on the way.
Got something to say? Hit us up on the Bay Law text line, 702-364-1100. Brought to you by Bay Law Injury Attorneys. Winning is no accident.
This traffic report is brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas. Visit us at jlrlv.com.
Starting Sunday and continuing for the next 2 weeks after that from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Be aware, Rainbow Boulevard reduced to one lane in each direction on and off between Tropicana and Silverstream Avenue.
This traffic report was brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas. Visit us at jlrlv.com. Here's your chance to own a luxury vehicle at a non-luxury price. Hi, this is Brennan, General Manager at Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas. Come and see a variety of our certified pre-owned vehicles at Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas or visit us online at jlrlv.com.
Understanding the many things in a mother's life affecting her pregnancy is important. You can help improve the health of all mothers and babies in Nevada by completing a Pregnancy Risk Assessment Monitoring System survey about your recent pregnancy. Also known as PRAMS, the survey is from the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The survey asks new moms about their experience before, during, and after pregnancy. Responses are confidential and used to help improve the health of mothers and babies in Nevada. If you receive a PRAMS survey, please share your story. Learn more at nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. That's nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. This message, sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Southern Nevada business community loves the DLC. Why is that, Chuck?
Look, small businesses have one goal: to get new customers and keep current customers. But sometimes their customers are just short on money. That's where we come in. Vets, dentists, apartment complexes, auto repair shops, really any small business can send their customers to us.
And you hook their customers up with the cash they need. Brilliant. No wonder they send their customers to Dollar Loan Center.
We're also the perfect place to send your employees when they hit you up for an advance or a loan. We'll treat your staff like family, hook them up with some cash, and eliminate you having to say no.
Founded in Las Vegas over 28 years ago, DLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by any of our 25 nearby locations to meet our real friendly staff. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
apply. See website for details.
Car crash? Got road rash?
Muddy.
More for me, less for you.
I'm way better looking than that other guy, so I'll get you more.
Stop. It's not about the injury, it's about the recovery. Hi, this is Paul Pata from Paul Pata Law. If you are injured due to someone else's negligence, don't drown in all the hype. At Paul Pata Law, you're more than just a case number. You're family, and we'll stand by you every step of the way. Paul Pata Law, we're your personal recovery attorneys. Check us out at paulpatalaw.com.
Hey, Jeff, how's the new job working out?
Really sucks. Terrible boss, and the paycheck is even worse. I gotta get a new job.
Truck you.
Wait, what?
Truck you.
You don't have to curse at me.
Dude, you should check out Truck You CDL training. My brother got his CDL license in 4 weeks, and now he has a new career making great money.
Okay, I'm listening.
Truck You offers small classes with night and weekend times available. They will even help with payment programs. Check them out. LV.com. Truck You.
By the time August rolls around, you've stopped being surprised by the heat. You walk outside, you get in your car, and wait for the AC to catch up. And at the end of the day, the one place you need to be cool is home. Your AC has been running since May, morning, noon, and night. And when it stays hot overnight, it never gets a rest. It just keeps grinding until something gives. At Gettle, we've been doing this for over 85 years. We know what a summer like this does to a system. Call us and make sure your home is the one place the heat can't follow you. GOETTL. We'll keep you cool, but it's hard to spell.
If you're considering purchasing a new or used Honda or need to service your current vehicle, go to the name Las Vegas Trust for exceptional sales, service, and parts. Finley. Whether you're up north, down south, or somewhere in between, you're always just 15 minutes away from a Finley Honda store. Each location has friendly and knowledgeable sales and service professionals. So give us a call or stop in anytime. Finley Honda's been Centennial Hills and Finley Honda Henderson in the Valley Auto Mall. The difference is in the name.
This sports update is brought to you by the William Hill Nevada Mobile Sports Account, where you can earn up to a $250 bonus bet after placing your first wager. Sign up today and you'll never miss another bet. Go to williamhill.us for more info.
UNLV women's golf head coach Amy Bush Herzer, the 5-time
10 seconds.
year, will be inducted into the Las Vegas Golf Hall of Fame. That will occur on October the 9th at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas.
Hey, rolling on this Friday, Cofield and Company, Willie, Steve Cofield, James running the show. We'll get the grab bag in about 15 minutes and get you set up for the rest of what's going on for WNBA weekend. What's cooking in studio, Willie? What are you watching?
My goodness. Stud bud Natisha Hiedeman is struggling, Steve. I don't know if she's got the legs beneath her. She's forcing shots up. She can't hit. She can't find the bottom. Oh, there goes one. Nope. She found her rhythm at the 16 points.
This is what, the 3-point contest?
This is a 3-point contest.
Which, by the way, I think throughout the show I've said is on Saturday and the game's on Sunday, but I was off.
No. 3-point. Yeah, the skills are tonight and then the game's tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, she's one of the ones that was hosting or throwing the party, one half of the stud buds. And as I said earlier, with the party that they live streamed it all night, so you could watch them. And these are grown women; they could do whatever they want. It's not like they did anything wrong, but they were drinking, they're partying, they're out of the clubs, they're enjoying themselves. It's mid-season, but some of these girls, some of these women, I should say, have a competition today. Well, I don't know. Maybe they can handle the liquor, but.
So today's a little bit of deja vu with LeBron picking yet another destination. I don't hate him for it. The Lakers didn't want to have him around. He wanted to go somewhere he felt more appreciated. It's now Luka's team and Reeves' team. So he took a little while to make his decision, which, by the way, this is very reminiscent of, well, it's different this way. You knew he was coming back. Like this wasn't I was going to compare it to Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre because what they would do, and they've done many times, is they would draw it out if they're coming back or not, either to their current team or they'd make into a big decision, right? So other guys have done this at the end of their careers. LeBron did free us from the speculation of is he going to retire or not retire. So he picks the Sixers. Now, I know a good number of Philly people. And the reason I say it's deja vu, not only is he going to a new team, but I think at least the last couple times, this is deja vu to me for what the Lakers fans went through right? Because a lot of Lakers fans, when they got LeBron, they're like, I don't like him. I've never liked him. I've always rooted against him. Now he's on my team. And I think that's the emotions that a lot of Philly fans are feeling today. Like I got some text earlier today about, hey, I don't even know if I want him, which I totally understand because in baseball, there was a while there where you'd have here and there some Yankees and Red Sox change teams. Like there were more than a few Red Sox who came to the Yankees. And I remember saying years back now, Willie, that when people were saying, hey, Pedro Martinez might go to the Yankees, I'm like, wait a second. That's where I draw the friggin' line. I'm not doing that. Like I was a little uneasy with Wade Boggs, and I was really uneasy with Roger Clemens. But, like, I ain't doing Pedro Martinez. So I'm not going to rip Philly fans who are like, we don't want him. Now, I think when they wake up, or, at the beginning of the season or they come to grips in a couple of weeks, what do you think the split will be amongst Philly fans? Do you think it'll get to a point where they're like 80% are on board with having LeBron there and there's still going to be 20% who are like, I hate this guy. I don't know what to do.
I think that's a fair number. I think the difference between the Lakers, if you go through each movement that he's made, other than going back to Cleveland for obvious reasons, I think the difference is where the role that he's now going to play, the age, right? So when he went to the Lakers, he was expected to lift the franchise, be the face of the franchise, be the star. I honestly don't think, I think his role is so different now where he doesn't have to be the face. He's going to naturally be LeBron James at Philly, but he doesn't have to be the guy. I don't think he's expected to be the man. So I think that it's different in that if you're a Laker fan and you went through the Magic Johnson era, then the Kobe Bryant era, you went through a LeBron James era. I don't know if this is a LeBron era in Philly. It's arguably a Jaylen Brown era.
But then we bring up your question in the current landscape of Philly sports with Bryce Harper leading the Phillies, with Jalen Hurts leading the Eagles. LeBron is LeBron. And you're right. At this age, I don't know that he's going to be looked at as the number one option. He's not going to be. So who is the biggest star in the NBA, or excuse me, in Philly now? Is it Hurts? Is it Bryce Harper, our hometown local? Or is it going to be LeBron?
I think it's Hurts.
Yeah.
I think it's Hurts. I think no matter which way you want to look at it, NFL is king.
It is.
He's the quarterback. He has a championship, and you mentioned it earlier. He still has the pressure to deliver again. I think the biggest star in Philadelphia is Jalen Hurts, and if I were to say second, because of the expectations, I might lean toward Bryce Harper again because of LeBron James's age and where he falls on this team. If we're talking 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe it's different. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think if the Sixers don't win a championship, it's not because LeBron didn't do his job.
Right.
So
last giveaway of the week, 364-1100, 364-1100. We've got AC/DC tickets. These are win them before you can buy them. The show is coming up in September. You can get the tickets at Ticketmaster.com when they go on sale. Right now, caller 7, AC/DC at Allegiant, 364-1100, caller 7.
The Golden Circle Sports Bar inside Treasure Island Hotel and Casino is the best place to watch games on the Strip. There's a huge video wall and over 55-plus screens throughout the bar. Place your sports bets at the new STN Sportsbook. The menu with the Golden Circle Burger, the Linebacker Bison Burger, Philly Cheesesteak, the Polish Sausage, and so much more is dynamite. The Golden Circle Sports Bar's happy hour is amazing with $5 draft beers every day from 10 a to 6 p. Treasure Island, the Vegas destination for those seeking a contemporary resort experience with an ideal location on the Las Vegas Strip. And remember, parking is always free. Here are today's 100 days of summer promotions at Terrible's. Terrible's is offering 50 cents off per gallon and a free medium fountain drink. Terrible's Gaming is giving away a $10,000 dream vacation. Visit Terrible's.com for details.
I'm attorney Paul Powell. If you've been in an accident, who do you call? The funny lawyer? The angry, aggressive lawyer? The lawyer that your mom's brother's friend's cousin recommends. Now, call me instead. I'm the guy the insurance companies don't want you to call. Really, they really don't. I can help you, and I won't take more money than you at the end of your case. Check it out.
If you're tired of greedy lawyers, call 728-5500 or go to paulpowell.com.
I really can help.
Paul Powell. More lawyer, less fee.
Some restrictions apply.
Vegas, the Genesis Card Show takes over the Tuscany Suites and Casino this Saturday and Sunday with 300 vendor tables of massive sports cards, Pokemon, trading cards, and more. Buy, sell, trade. Get details at GenesisCardShow.com. The Collector's Heaven at GenesisCardShow.com.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Everyone's so friendly here at Centennial Subaru. Can't walk 10 steps without a belly rub. They feed me snacks, and they even feed humans. Only thing bad I can say is they really like those guys on 2 wheels. This is why we bring our humans here. Go north, US 95 and Ann Road. Centennial Subaru, a short drive from everywhere.
Great rates with Create. Let your money elevate. Every swipe, every day. Watch it grow while you wait. Great rates with Create. Turn a little into great. Feels good, feels safe. Great rates with Create. Great rates with Create. Let your money elevate. Every swipe, every day.
Visit createcu.org today and learn about the great rates at Create Credit Union. Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance.
Great rates with Create.
Hey, babe, where are you going?
Fantastic indoor swap meet.
The swap meet? I love Fantastic. Can I come along?
Sure, if you bring your wallet.
What are we shopping for?
Everything. They've got everything, and it's a lot more fun than shopping online.
Okay, let's spend the afternoon. It's just over on Decatur and Okie.
You know, Fantastic's open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10 to 6. And like they say, it's fantastic.
And like they say, we've got it.
ZipZap Auto has expanded into one of the largest independent auto repair shops in the Valley. With 23 bays, over 12,000 square feet, ZipZap is your one-stop shop, offering smog tests, oil changes, detailing, body work, and engine and transmission rebuilding. Plus, ZipZap provides free towing and diagnostics with qualifying repairs. No appointment necessary. ZipZap Auto on Cheyenne and North Durango Drive, and online at zipzapauto.com.
This isn't your typical house party. It's the free 90s house party at Fremont Street Experience Saturday, July 25th. Starting at 5 p.m., throw it back with live 90s music across 3 stages. 90s inspired merch, a local food truck village, BMX and skateboard stunts, free giveaways, and more. Plus, Nevada residents can buy one, get one free Slotzilla zipline ride July 25th only, starting at 5 p.m. The 90s house party at Fremont Street Experience, where the party's always on. Visit FremontStreetExperience.com for details.
Summer can be messy, but lunch doesn't have to be. Let Port of Subs Catering handle the food so you can enjoy the fun.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports account, and you can earn up to a $250 bonus bet after placing your first qualifying wager. The William Hill Nevada mobile sports app allows you to bet on the go from any iPhone, iPad, or Android device from anywhere in Nevada. Sign up today and you will never miss another bet. With the largest wagering menu, the mobile sports app features
10 seconds.
Live in-play wagering on all major sports. For more information, official rules, and to see participating sign-up locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Cofield and Company presents Grab Bag on ESPN Las Vegas.
Stick your hand in there, Dave.
So last couple things on LeBron going to Philly. That was the big news of the day today. LeBron James, 2-year deal. Very affordable, about $8 million over the 2 years, and I hope he plays both years. And frankly, maybe I'll be the first one to say this, Willie, anywhere in the country. I sort of hope that LeBron's got 2 years in him in Philly, and then he actually is part of the ownership group here in Vegas, and he plays one more year in Vegas at the age of what? That would be 44 years old. I think that would be unbelievable.
Do you think, on that note, let's say he plays 2 years in Philly, comes to Vegas, plays his last year here, and then brings his son, ushers that era in, and then Bronny is a member of the Vegas team?
I don't care. There's not a Bronny era, I don't think. I'm not even sure Bronny will be in the NBA at that point. I think Bronny's going to be a two-way guy this year, as long as the Lakers keep him around. I think the Lakers do need him for organizational depth.
Yeah.
But I don't know that. Is he ever more than a end of the bench guy who's going to average 5 points a game? I'm not even sure he's going to be that good. And there's no digging on Bronny. That is, I would say, people don't. For me, LeBron doesn't have a lot of bad marks against him. For others, they can't stand that he bounces around. But I think that is. It's hard to say it's a mistake. I don't have a kid, so you do. So I suppose if there was an opportunity that you could share your profession, with Jordan, like LeBron did with Bronny. I feel like Bronny would have gotten so much more to playing 3 and 4 years in college. He would have been a really good college player. He would have been a big star.
Yep.
I still don't understand the whole point, but it's not my kid.
Would you like to see LeBron win a championship in Philly?
1,000%. I hope they win back-to-back titles.
Nice.
And I don't dislike Philly like I did as a kid. But I'm not a Knicks fan. Like it's funny. Everyone I grew up with, and I've got a bunch of people, around here now that I'm back in the tri-state area, where they're like, "Oh, you're a Knicks fan." I'm like, "No, I grew up a Nets fan."
Yeah.
Like I didn't like the Knicks, and I find half the Knicks fans really annoying. I find the others, quite lovable. I like them, but I mean, the Eastern Conference now. I mean, the Philly Knicks kind of Celtics rivalry thing is awesome, and then you've got all these teams that can upset the apple cart. The Heat. And it's not like the Heat did nothing. The Cavs, the Pistons, freaking Pacers with Halliburton back. It's going to be awesome. Magic. Charlotte. Maybe not Charlotte. Maybe. All right, well, very good week, Willie. I appreciate you doing all the shows this week, or pretty much most of the shows. James, very good as well. Make sure you check socials this weekend up on Facebook and TikTok. Especially go to Willie's TikTok. Willie's TikTok is awesome. His content is awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Great week of radio. We'll talk to you.
Summer can be messy, but lunch doesn't have to be.